What happened? What's going on? Who are you people? Where did you come from? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Holy shit. Welcome in, guys. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Alfio, thank you so much for the raid. Holy shit. You interrupted Motley what? Oh, yeah, I did. I did interrupt the Motley Crew. Heard the Motley Crew with my vampire hearing. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, guys. I was rushing. I'm sorry Hi, welcome to the desk. I'm sorry the pre-roll was so long. We had to do... I was eating lunch when I started stream. I was trying to eat... Oh, shit.
Making the mother of all omelets here, Jack. Can't spread over every egg.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Excellent. All right, get it out of your system. Go ahead. Keep going. Get it out of your system. Go ahead. Start the parade. I'll wait. I'll wait. Oh. Wait, is VTS not connected? Oh, because it's trying to update. Ah, fuck. Ah, fuck. Oh, I'm lagging. Oh, I'm lagging. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's just because I clicked update on the, what do you call it? On, Tits. Tits is gonna open in a second, so you're gonna get the diamond. There we go. There's the diamond. All right. I'm sorry that took so long, you guys. I had to clean up all of my stuff because I actually made lunch today. Yes, the Norway Housing Fund. Here, we can actually show you at the beginning since some of y'all are new. Let me swing right on over. We'll get the screen down over here. I can saunter on over. Actually, we have a new one. It's in Discord. But that means I need to change the old one to the new one. There it is. Dar sheepy. Oh shit. Lost it in the OBS mess. Okay. There we go. All right, guys, this is the new one. This one actually has the stretch goals on it since y'all knocked out like the first half of the other one. I told you. Hold on. Sorry, chat. Today is like a hair reset day, so my hair feels fucking weird. It's a reset wash where you wash out everything you've ever put into your hair and then you can't put anything in for 24 hours. Is immaculate? Well, thank you. 2 questions. I like my playlist. This is my liked playlist off Spotify. We also fixed the smiling problem with the model, so now I have my little smirk back. I have my constant little smirk. So it's not like I'm always frowning and I don't have to do like the weird like puppetry smile to get the model to smile. Thank you, Wax. All right, guys, this is pretty much the same. Some of the numbers have been moved around. Voice pack is now 1.4. I know the numbers are weird, but I just said fuck it with this. So it's 1K, 1.2, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 1.8, and 2. So they're more frequent. There's additional ones. Food crime is back. Many of the same ones are still here. All I've done is insert food crimes, which we will actually decide on together. And bad horror, which I will literally find some of the worst horror games ever made, and we will have to play through the entirety of one of them. Even if technically the game is unplayable, like a couple of the ones that I found. There's one that's called like Amy or something. I've been told that it was like, it had a good idea and had a good premise, but it's literally infuriating to play. Just because of how useless the system is. It's some kind of like zombie apocalypse game. Where the character you play as is like a police officer or something, and she's infected. But the little girl you're escorting is completely immune and apparently has special powers to like heal you and cure you. So you have to defend her from the zombies while also going back to her on occasion to get her to keep you from turning into a zombie. So VTM Bloodlines. Hey, no, there's an official patch for that also. You want to know what I found out today? There is an RTX mod for Bloodlines 1. Chat, what if we add another stretch goal? I will play VTM Bloodlines 1 using the RTX mod on stream. We will do an entire playthrough of Bloodlines 1 The Last of Us, but from a slightly different universe, kind of. The thing is this little girl apparently has like superpowers, which that's all I know. I don't know like how she has it, if she's like a lab experiment or some shit. It didn't explain it in the synopsis that I saw, that this game kept popping up on the list of like worst horror games. Yeah, Amy. Yeah, the entire game is one giant escort mission, worse than like Resident Evil 4. I will share my favorite bad horror game. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. But all right, guys. Stretch goals. This is mostly, a lot of these are to make me suffer, but also things that I kind of sort of want to do. So the thing with this is 2.25 there. That's league. That is, if you know the single word league on the internet, then you know what that means, right? I will get a couple of guys together and we will go play League of Legends. I will show you my old League of Legends skills. I have never played League on stream. I have no idea how this is going to go. I have no idea what this is going to be like. You want worse horror games? Play Michigan Report from Hell. I think that actually showed up on one of the lists I saw. I'm pretty sure it did. The other one is the VTM one shot. I'm definitely going to do that with at least Faye and Sai. I'm trying to figure out who I'm going to get the third person to be. I'm thinking Izzy. I may see if Izzy's up for it. I think it'd be fun. Although I don't know if Izzy's ever played VTM, and I'm planning on making this like a an elder game, so it's gonna be, you may want to know the game a little bit. Donate specifically not for that. Listen, if you want to, if y'all donate and it's like basically skip straight to like say like VTM one shot, I will take that as y'all absolutely wanting to avoid the League of Legends. Oh my God, is that Motley Faye? The one and only streamer who streams once a year, who's going to be streaming later today in like an hour and 40 minutes? Damn. Damn. She's so cool, guys. She's so cool. God damn it, no, not the quote 1000. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Why do you gotta yell it so loud? God damn. She's so cool, you guys. Faye stream, you say? Yeah, Faye's gonna be streaming later. We got an hour and 40 minutes until Faye stream. Because we need to hype it more, Faye. We need to hype it more. This is what I may not be able to show up since it's going to be a short stream and it starts like midway through my regular time. But God damn it, I'm going to be sending people. I'm definitely going to be sending people. Chat, remember, you can have 2 streams open and they count for both those streams. More than 2, and you don't really count as a viewer for them. Heads up. Just remember that. Just remember that. There may not be a stream of the live variety. Perhaps, maybe. Ooh. Ooh. Hi, Pope Editor. How are you doing? All right. Okay. Let me continue explaining some things. Also, if you see the weekly passes, those are outdated. Those are from last week. I hate this software for some reason. It says specifically all of the stream elements, weekly stuff is supposed to reset on Saturday night at midnight. And they don't until like Tuesday night at midnight, and I don't understand it. Such a role delight. All right. Per snaps. Oh, per snaps, you say. Per snips. I wish Twitch had a changing channel functionality where you can have like 3 or 4 channels up. You can switch between them. You could do that. The thing is, it would only count probably if they did make a feature like that. If they did make a feature like that. Then it would probably only count for the person that you're looking at right then and there. Hold on, I'm curious. Did anybody as a kid have a TV remote that had like a return button that would take you to your previous channel you were watching? My dumb ass, well, more like my smart ass as a kid, I just did that a ton because when I was a kid, I only watched like Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon, and then maybe Disney. And so I just jumped between those 2 channels. Just jumped between those 2 channels by hitting the return button over and over. Because when I was a kid, Nickelodeon was channel 24, Cartoon Network was 27, and Disney was 28. And then, of course, Animal Planet was 16. I watched Animal Planet. I liked Animal Planet. It's why I watched so many, what are those, World's Deadliest? World's Most Extreme? I think it was World's Most Extreme. The one that had the like terrifying like green 3D thing. No, I just never switched the channel. Listen, if you got a dedicated channel, that's understandable. It had picture in picture. That's crazy. I was never that bougie. I was never that bougie until in that house. That was our cable system. Then eventually we got satellite, and like Cartoon Network became like 700 or something like that. Have you ever watched Mermaids the Body? Oh my God. Have I seen Mermaids the Body Found fake documentary? The funny thing too is they play that shit so fucking serious. People actually thought it was real. I'm not even joking. People thought that the Bodies Found mockumentary was real. People were losing their mind. The funny thing too is I'm pretty sure in that documentary they use like the Fiji mermaid. Let me see if I can find a picture for y'all of the Fiji mermaid. Ah, here it is. Not quite the original, but there's been like so many of these, so it doesn't really matter too much. So let me do this really quick. Put you away. There it is. This weird like fish and monkey hybrid that people like showed up one day, and they pretended to say in this documentary that it's like, this was just a young mermaid. This is what they were when they're like in their infancy. And like, even though this was debunked, God, how long ago was it debunked? In the 30s? Something like that? Yeah, I do remember the thing was that Megalodon mockumentary though, Homo forensis mockumentary. Oh my God. Talking stupid conspiracies, not conspiracies. The goofy like Animal Planet fake documentaries is what we're talking about. Like, so there was like the Bodies Found one, which was like about mermaids. Let's see if I can find Bodies Found Rhode Island. No. JetBlue plane. What? Bodies Found mermaid. Maybe this will give me the pictures. Ah, yeah, here it is. Here's their CGI mermaid shit too. You also can't forget that they had a bunch of people dressed up in costumes and pretend to be monkeys that eventually like went back into the ocean. So they had like another whole fucking sequence of that for this documentary. Cannibal in the Jungle. Oh my God, I love Lost Tapes. We actually watched Lost Tapes on Grimm's channel about a month ago. More than a month ago. It was really fun. I liked Lost Tapes. There was actually one particular Lost Tapes that like terrified me as a kid. Lost Tapes, the Wendigo episode. So like there's one particular scene that I'm trying to remember where it happens. I think it's basically like just before this moment where he like, the guy like looms out from between like the tree roots that they find. And ever since I saw that as a kid, I would imagine seeing that outside like my windows. So I wouldn't look outside at night. After the sun went down, I would not look outside the windows. Could not risk it. Taking the New Mexico. Oh, you mean like the Roswell documentary? Is that the one you're thinking of? Let me bring this one back. Until we need the internet showcase again. Many of the people, at least the dragon one was fun. Do you mean the one where they talked about like, where they were all like, so many mythologies have dragons, so they have to be real. And then they like went on and talked about how like, if dinosaurs were real, how they would have been able to like breathe fire and shit. Just remove the windows. No. This was an old house, mind you. I lived in an old house growing up when I was this age. This was the house that was built in 1880. Cannibal in the Jungle. Cannibal in the Jungle. What was that one? Cannibal in the Jungle. Oh, good Lord. What is this? I'm not going to lie. For a split second, I saw the lead person, picture of the lead person. And I could have swore for a split second it was Liam O'Brien. It was not. It was not Liam O'Brien. Interesting. I've never seen this. At least I don't think I've ever seen it. Animalplanet.com/cannibal. Premiere Sunday, May 24th, 9 or 8 Central. Huh. We got a runner gonna catch me, Juckle Fucks. Get him Get him, boys. Your model looks great. It's like you got a summer haircut. Yeah. I wanted to have 1.0's hair on this model, but my rigger is really expensive. He's really expensive when it comes to hair. So maybe at some point I'll be able to get the hair. Maybe. Return fire. Oh shit. Removing the hair for summer. There is no shave. There is no bulge. Y'all don't get any bald. No bald. No egg. No eggy. Wait, what song is this? Hello? Cut the Cord by Shinedown. I don't know this band. I cast Jam Weapons on Ordain. Watching the firefight popcorn time. Oh no. Oh no. Bald? What do you mean bald? I got so much hair. There's so much hair up here. Look at it. It's luscious. It's luscious, baby. Maybe a little spiky. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Zoom enhance the hair? No. What, you want me to zoom in? I can zoom and enhance the hair. All right, hold on. Hi. Look at my hair. My hair is very pretty. It has very cool stripes. I did lose the black stripes, unfortunately. I'm gonna have the black stripes back for the summer outfit, and you can't stop me. Hair. Hair. All right. All right. Slide back over here. Slide right on back over. But I think that's the gist of it. These are all of the goals we have not hit. So we'll know we hit like 1K when we reach 50% on the goal thing. So that's just a heads up for that. Finally, the real streamer has arrived. Oh, son of a bitch. I knew y'all were here just for my hair and my, you know. Yo, who gave the clean cut? How much you pay for that? I like your cut, G. Smack. You're spoiled for choice here? I have no idea what you're on about. What could you possibly be talking about? Explain. Explain.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
One day y'all will remember that does not work on the talking screen. One day. I may need to remake it. I think I can remake it to where it works on the entire fucking overlay. Probably, maybe, who knows? Possibly.
There's our man.
Put it in gaming general. Oh, wait, what? Oh, the game. That's right. Let me see. What could this game be? Oh, you put gaming general. I was looking at media share for some reason. Come on, Discord. I believe in you. Why aren't you loading? Knock, knock. What the flying fuck is this? In an unusual cabin deep in the woods, it has served as a laboratory and dwelling for 3 generations of lodgers, but as of late, the latest lodger has been noticing weird changes in familiar surroundings. Things are missing, noises and rattles heard. Something odd is coming out of the woods. I recommend this as a bad horror game, not because of all the things it does right, but all the things it does wrong. I love this game so much, but God, is it janky? Maybe it doesn't fulfill your requirements, but the cutscenes are extremely loud out of nowhere. The main mechanic of the game is entirely hit or miss because it's based on a percentage chance once you're hiding, and not that you are hiding. Sometimes you can cheese your way around the main mechanic. The secondary area of the game has to be fought through because it's entirely randomized, so you're going to be holding up the entire time. The thing you're looking for can just not accept you found it, causing you to go looking for it all over again when the section is timed later in the game. But this is required for you to get the good ending, and discoverables are either actively trying to kill you or are hidden in a dumb place. Oh no. Okay. Still not work like all the other times? Wait, which one? And rubber bones on you, Ordain? Oh god, does everybody have rubber bones now? Are we handing out rubber bones? Wait, what is this? What is Evolution 2 and why is it trending? Oh, Jurassic World Evolution 2? Wait, when was Jurassic World Evolution? Okay, no. Somebody's talking about Jurassic World Evolution, and like a bunch of other people are talking about apparently wrestling? Okay. Yeah, it's... Huh. Is it a women's tournament for WWE? I know there's some people in the community that really like wrestling. Hi, Lucian. So I figured maybe they know. I think maybe Evolution is the women's tournament because a bunch of these are like, all these pictures looks like it's just a bunch of the women wrestlers. So, you know, shrugs. Shrugs. You can't move now? What do you mean I can't move? Well, I mean, we actually can't move until we pay for everything. Because this is like the remaining like down payment for the house and shit. What the fuck do you mean we hit the follower goal of 8,400? What the shit? I didn't realize we were that close. I thought we were still like 20 something away. Holy shit. Welcome in, Instigator. How are you doing? Hi, Tommy. Also that you in the Donathon image, you got something in your eye. I do have something in my eye. It's called more eye. More eyes, baby. More eyes. Although we can also put these away. I take them away, but for some reason it makes my face feel like really empty. I see you. I see you. Hi, chat. Are you behaving? Are you behaving over there? Let me be Dutch. I can't spell or know words. I mean, the Dutch are supposed to be smarter than that, though. I could have swore the Dutch were supposed to be smarter than that, Ordain. I mean, look at y'all's roads. Y'all do roads so well. Ask consent before seeing me with that many eyes. I don't know. I don't know if I can stop myself. Dutch equals woo German. I think Ordain would have. I think there's a couple Dutch people in here. See you. Oh my goodness. I cast remove powers on Ordain. You're a monster. How could you? All right, hold on. I want to see what other nonsense is like. What's the word? Like floating around. So let me. I don't blame you. Blame the scorpion. Wait, what? What does Scorpion do? What has the scorpion done? Also, hold on. Let me check something. Where is it? There we go. Okay. Oakley dokley. But here, sugar daddy season? What the fuck is sugar daddy season? Do I even want to know? Why is sugar daddy season trending? Somebody said it's sugar daddy season. Who wants to be mine? All right, these are just people posting saucy pictures of themselves looking for sugar daddies. Okay. I guess. I suppose. Okay, it's either women posting saucy pictures of themselves, or it's people genuinely confused why the fuck sugar daddy season is trending. Aunt Gabo, how are you doing? Oh shit, guys, I just realized Coco's outside. I put Coco outside when I first started cooking, and I have not let her in. So are y'all gonna be mad at me if I run and open the door to let her in? I read lore? You read lore? What kind of lore? Abandon the Coco? I'll go get the Coco, I'm sorry. Okay, the puppo is inside. The puppo is back inside instead of where it's hot as hell. Okay. The choir weeps hot tears for that poor doggy. No! Argos waited? Argos. Argos. I keep thinking Argus. World of Warcraft has ruined me. How could you do this to me, WoW? How could you do this to me? You've corrupted me into a monster. The choir weeps hot tears for that poor doggy. It's fine. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to be concerned about. But I'm trying to see. Ozempic is trending. Do I even want to know? Why is Episcopal Church also trending? Oh, do I want to know? Okay. Has announced it'll end its decades-old partnership with the government to resettle refugees, citing moral opposition to resettling white Afrikaners from South Africa who have been classified as refugees by the Trump admin. Okay. You know, I'm fine. I'm fine with this. The Episcopal Church has worked with the US government for a long time to settle refugees into communities and stuff. And apparently they are ending the, as an organization that works with the government when they bring in refugees, they have disconnected themselves from the US government and refused to take any more refugees after the Trump administration started allowing white Afrikaners, which is like South Africans, white people from like the South African region and probably countries, just because that country currently is, we're not going to talk in details about South Africa, but it's falling apart. We'll just go with that. We'll just go with that. And so they're leaving. They're going to other countries. They're going basically back to their quote home countries in this case. And some of them are coming to the US. And apparently the Trump administration has marked them as refugees, meaning they get rushed. It depends. It depends. It really depends. Sometimes refugee processes are long, slow, and agonizing. I suspect that the Trump administration is probably shoehorning and rushing the shit out of the white Afrikaners like refugee status and getting them to the States. Yeah, they're more than likely. I say accelerated because there's still people from the Iraq war that haven't been brought in as refugees. And that's not even a joke. But the thing is people are now quoting it and saying that the Episcopal Church is one, racist, evil and racist, demonic. Hold on, I'm scrolling. I'm scrolling how people describe. Okay. Okay. The request, Rose said, created a moral line for the Episcopal Church, which is part of the global Anglican Communion, that boasts among its leadership the late Archbishop Desmond Tutu, a celebrated and vocal opponent of apartheid in South Africa. The Episcopal Church doesn't want to be 1945 Argentina. Okay. I think I get the comparison there. Are we taking Twitter posters seriously again? Well, these are news articles. These are news links. I just want to see how people are reacting to this. Okay. I'm actually kind of fine with that. They made in this case, they made their own problem. Weirdly enough, I did learn a little bit about South Africa since apartheid, and you ever wanted to see a biggest bunch of people not want to give equality to the people that they're basically fucking running through? South Africa's it, baby. South Africa is it. Let me do a quick thing really quick. We are going to swap back to the desk. Yeah. Desk time. All right. There's also Rhodesia. Rhodesia is another Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we talking Twitter posters seriously again? No, we're not. We don't take Twitter posters seriously ever. What do we say? No, I'm not going to make that joke. I'm not going to make that joke. That's a horrible joke. Okay, I need to put some of these away because that was just straight up titty. All right, hold on. Why is Ozempic trending? Highly neurotic. What?
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how
Liam.
I ended up in this situation.
Why you do that? Why you do that? Okay. Apparently, okay, the reason it's trending is apparently because Trump called, he talked about some buddy of his, he didn't name anyone, is taking Ozempic, but he called it in an interview the fat shot drug. Okay. Oh, okay. Remember, guys, if I remember correctly, it wasn't Ozempic a diabetes drug? It's originally marketed as a diabetes drug, and then a bunch of people started taking it to lose weight, which is extremely stupid. It's supposed to be, yeah, that's what I thought. Sorry, chat, needed a drink of water. But yeah, that's... What the fuck is Ozempic face? Who the fuck? The idea of Ozempic face is so funny to me. Society will do anything to vilify weight loss drugs, but still haven't understood the fact that when you gain weight in your face, your skin stretches, and when you lose it, the skin lays a different way, often leading to wrinkles. Yeah, that's literally what these are. These are people's faces that lost weight, and their face kind of sagged a little bit. Hello? Hello? I swear to God, some people did not pass their fucking middle school health class. It is the drug for diabetes. It's got a ton of negative side effects for people who don't have diabetes. Yeah. And the weight loss is almost guaranteeably temporary. It's far worse than fucking taking Ozempic and then getting off of it afterwards and making equivocally no, what is it? Taking no, what's the word? No dietary changes? Where's it going? Taking no Ozempic. Fuck, I've lost my train of thought. I got so confused because I saw a gif of sips tea peacefully. But yeah, I know so many cases and stuff with it right now is that you either have to continue to take Ozempic to balance the weight off unless you make lifestyle changes. If you continue the exact same life that you had, yeah, no lifestyle changes. Thought left the train station. It left with nobody on it. There is nobody on it. One box of 25 milligram to 5 milligram strength Ozempic is $1,075 in the US. The same box costs 4,317. Oh, this is pesos. Why did they put the dollar sign? Why did they put the dollar sign next to this, and then in parentheses is about $220 in Mexico, nearly 5 times less. It's literally the same product, priced ludicrously low in the US because reasons. Ozempic. My health reasons, I had to drastically reduce the wheat and dairy intake. I lost 60 pounds since December. Hell yeah. That's dropping sodas if you have a daily soda. If you just replace that with say Gatorade, if you can't completely get off sugary drinks, I would suggest Gatorade or electrolyte drinks instead. Try to limit yourself down to 1 a day at most. Just edging out that sugar is your best friend. Try to take away my Dr. Pepper. You can have 1 Dr. Pepper a day. Wait. Do you get Dr. Pepper in the UK? You don't permanently lose weight without changing your lifestyle. That's no shortcut. Exactly. Exactly. I used down a gallon of whole milk in 2 days, cutting that alone was 20 pounds in a month. Yeah, because whole milk is extremely high in fat and sugar. You would be surprised how much sugar... I'm pretty sure I put whole milk. Monster Hunter has ruined me. Whole milk. I need nutrition facts. images. Here's Malva's whole milk. Let's see. Total sugar, 12 grams per serving. There is 1 cup per serving. How many cups are in a gallon? I forget how many cups are in a gallon. 16. Okay. That was like, it's intervals of 8 or something, isn't it? It's 16. So there is 12 times 16. Those numbers are too big. I only know up to 12s. 192 grams of sugar in a gallon of milk. 192 grams. Let me see really quick. Bag of sugar. Weight. Okay. Now I gotta do pounds to fucking ounces because, wait. 16 ounces per pound, 32, 64. In a 4-pound bag of sugar, there's 64 ounces? There's more than 2 bags of sugar in a gallon of milk? Oh, no, that's grams. That's grams. I'm stupid. I'm stupid. Hold on. Nope. I was way off. Nope. Okay, that's less than a pound of sugar. That is about, that's about like, not quite 3/5. I think it's a little less than half a pound of sugar. No. I was way off. I was thinking ounces. Then I was like, I got confused between grams and ounces. No. I was way off. It's only about like, it's under half a pound of sugar, which is still a lot of sugar, considering like the usual smaller bags of sugar at a store are like 4 pounds. But this can change between brands. Let me see. Here's Organic Valley. Organic Valley has 11 grams of sugar per serving. Also 11. 12. I have to add my own sugar to the milk. Do not go adding your own sugar to the milk. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's the converting that's like annoying. If I don't write it down, then my brain gets lost. Who's drinking milk with sugar? Milk has... U.S. milk has sugar in it. I'm actually curious. Let me see if that's natural sugar, because it doesn't say it's added sugar. It says it's total sugar. Let me look up, like, nutrition. Do like German milk or something. Open Sesame. German milk. Good lord, they keep all of the fucking vitamins and stuff on here. Jesus. But... oh, fuck. I'm gonna guess the word for sugar is gonna be in German. Because all of the scientific names are fine and understandable, but there's some words in here that... anybody know the German word for sugar? The Malvin has taken the sugar. No sugar for you. Sugar's bad for you, chat. You must use sugar in controlled doses. Sucre? No, I don't. Zucker? Nope, that ain't it. Kupfer. Mark Sugarberg? What? I was gonna say, sucrose sounds like a shortened version of like sucralose. Wow, they actually do measure the amount of lactose in here. Amazing. Amazing. Ballaststoff. Let me look it up. English, German. We gotta do the thing. Sugar. Oh, you're right, it is Zucker. Okay. Yeah, I don't... oh, there it is. Squint. There's no, like, lines. I think it's 7.1 grams. So almost half of the sugar that's in American milk. And it seems like, what is, hold on, what is Davon? Swap these real quick. Davon. Azúcar. Of which sugar? But it actually looks like 7 grams of its total 7.1 is just from the lactose. Lactose is a sugar? Yeah. Yeah, so 7 grams is from the lactose. It doesn't count up where the 0.1 comes from, I don't think. Maybe it's added? Colon hydrate? I don't know. It's under a couple like categories and stuff. But, you know, as you do, it's even less than what we have here. Sigh. La sigh. All right. Sucrose, fructose, glucose, sucralose, lactose. Yep. Os. Galactose. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's also people talking about like their family. The caffeine, THC, nicotine, and Ozempic all hitting my bloodstream simultaneously while in this Barnes and Noble. What? How do you time those so they all hit at the same time? What? How many gummies are you eating? And then taking a shot of Ozempic? Brain implosion energy, galactose destroyer. Okay, that's pretty great. Yeah, hold on. Now I gotta look that up. Now I swear there has to be galactose. Fuck, it is an actual sugar. God damn it. It is an actual sugar. Commonly found in milk and dairy products, as well as some fruits, vegetables, and other foods. Son of a bitch. Key component of lactose, the sugar found in milk. Galactose plays an important role in energy production. Great. The more sugar in a mammal's diet, the more sugar in the milk they produce. That raises the question now. How much sugar is in cow feed? Or could it be from the grass that they're grazing on? Wait, what the fuck is this? From keto to Ozempic friendly with GLP-1 become the next food label? What is GLP-1? From gluten-free to whole furry, food labels might have always reflected the health trends of the time, but a new one is emerging. What is... Medications like Ozempic and Mounjaro are reshaping how people eat, think about food, and shop. I don't think it is. Appetite is changing, food preferences are shifting, and brands are racing to catch up. What does GLP-1 stand for? Hello? GLP-1 food label? Okay, what does it mean? Remember the no fat fad? Okay, so GLP-1s are apparently drugs like Ozempic and stuff, but hoping to appeal to consumers taking the... God, we are... America is so fucked, dude. Rather than being like, yeah, let me go change some things in my lifestyle or stop drinking all the sugary shit that I do, we're like, yeah, we're gonna just take the drug. Okay. Chat, go to the gym. Go to the gym, chat. Hold on, wait. I swear I have a meme somewhere. Where is it? I know it's in here. I have a meme that's Oh God, let me double check and make sure it's safe for work. Okay, okay. It is. It is. I need to put it somewhere. Okay, hold on. Oh, gonna go drop it in the group chat. So don't get confused, Faye, if you're still listening. Where is it? No, I don't need the dodgeball of prophecy, Apollo. There it is. Ignore me. Okay, okay. Now I have a link for it. Okay. We're bringing the board back down, kids. Let me... Where is it? Where is the board? Screen. Okay. That's still there because I made it so. Okay. Should be behind it. There it is. There you go, chat. That's it. This is it. I want to get a redraw of this at some point. I want to get a redraw of this, but this is what I need. This is what I need for y'all to just... I need to make it a poster. That's what it needs to be. It needs to be a poster. And just leave it in fucking... Thank you for 3 stream streak, Iron. You can't make me... Ordain, you have the gym of life. You're in a fucking Dutch. You have bike lanes and fucking walking for days. Oh, it just said we completed the goal again. That's weird. Somebody unfollowed. How could you? How could you? Mira, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Drop that in media for reasons? All right. All right, I got you. Don't worry, baby cakes. Don't worry, baby cakes. I'll put it in media share. Also, oh my God, the dude with the fucking torque wrench. All right. I just want to talk. Like, go to the gym, fuckers. Smile. Listen, I may not be going as hard as I probably could at the gym or properly balancing. I'm trying to balance my diet a little bit better. I want to start making stuff at home a lot more and stop going to so many fucking quick bite places. Which I'm started working on. That's the plan this week. Just me posting some of the stuff I find at work. Oh, good Lord. Fairbanks, thank you for doing your season pass. How are you doing? But yeah, that's the gist of that. So let me go ahead and put this back up, and then we can go ahead and do this. Slide right on over. Go a little bit bigger. There we go. Fantastic. Hold on, I'm scratching my eyes. Me posting some of the stuff. Buns will take that for possible art comps. Listen, I'll find an artist for it. I have an idea for an artist already. I now have a Bingus. You have a Bingus? Wait. Do you mean did you get a hairless cat? You did not get a hairless cat, right? Picture the Verdant chat fishing doodle, but it's at the gym. Oh, good Lord. Tech Morgan, thank you for doing your season pass. Holy shit. 27 months. Jesus. No, I have Bingo. We call him Bing. Oh, right. The Bingus. Praise the Bingus. Praise be to the Bingus. Oh my God, you'll start a hype train. Oh my God, you'll start a hype train. Cooperatively cheap. Take whatever physical fitness course your local community college offers. There's usually one credit and you get like 4 or 5 months of gym access outside the class itself, which is also basically a scheduled gym time. That feels like a convoluted way to do it. That feels like an extremely convoluted way to do it. As opposed to just spending the like $20 a month and you're telling them to go take a college course. There are some colleges that won't, like even community colleges often won't let you attend unless you take more than, I think it's like 2 or 3 classes this semester. Usually I think it's like 8 hours. I think you have to have a minimum of like an 8-hour semester, which at its smallest number of classes is 2 4-credit classes, which means you're going to have 2 classes that have labs. There's only one Flesh Linky? Huh? Flesh Linky? I should look at the artists who do the posters for Adeptus Ridiculous. There's some excellent... Ooh. Ooh. Already, you probably don't have the extra. That's true. Even then, sometimes some places it's cheaper. I think Crunch has a membership for like $5 or $7 a month. If you're in the US and Radius Bingus. Sir Bingusworth. No. Strudel Bingusworth. Versus 45 for 4 to 6 months. That's a hopeful price. That's a very hopeful price. I'm calling gyms muscle farms now. Hey, listen, do what you gotta do. I can believe it. I can believe it. I think I'm paying $50 a month at Planet Fitness. I'm paying like, I think $20 a month for Planet Fitness. Yes, I go to Planet Fitness. Mainly because the specialty gyms here don't open until like after 5 p.m. because all the specialty gyms are owned by people that also have a different job. So they don't open that shit until they're like off their regular job. And then everybody who goes there is like off a regular job. So you only get to go after 5 p.m. and it's always swamped. Always. Mine's actually 24 hours except on the weekends. I think they close at like midnight on the weekends. They open at like 5 or 6 in the morning. But I don't usually go around those times, so it hasn't been a big concern. Hi, Simon. Welcome in. Demon King Perez, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. All right. Okay, hold on. We still haven't figured out what this food is. Originally designed for people with diabetes, GLP-1 medications like Ozempic and Wegovy help stabilize blood sugar and reduce appetite. It also tends to quiet food noise or constant thoughts about food. Then what's the point of living if I'm not thinking about food? Huh? I like food. Food is delicious. Food is motivation to stay alive. I stay alive tomorrow so that I can eat another meal. How dare you try to take this from me? How dare you? Now, going to the gyms, they don't have one easily accessed on the way home from work. It's one of those things that like you got to just kind of slide it into your routine somewhere, even if it's not like exactly on your route home. Like even making a slightly longer detour could make it worthwhile. Yeah, I figured that's because you're not like digesting everything that's coming your way. It's just processing it so fast that your body doesn't have enough time to digest everything. So you just end up with the stomach slurry. Oh, dear God. Now, large food companies like Nestle and Conagra brands are jumping on the GLP bandwagon, too. Conagra released a press release on December 12th, 2024, announcing that some of their health choice meals will bear a GLP-1 friendly badge beginning in January 2025. Okay, so Nestle's releasing theirs under their brand name Vital Pursuit. I have never heard of that brand. Nestle also owns Boost, the pre-mixed nutritional drinks, which are now being marketed as GLP-1 nutrition. This is a fucking cycle. This is a never-ending cycle. Also, chat, don't buy freezer meals. Just like, unless you know the brand, you know it through and through, don't buy freezer meals. They're not good for you. One diet tip I've heard is just take time to chew your food. It could help your body realize you're getting a good meal. True. And it's something like don't scarf your food down, which is something I do because I'm usually like in a rush to do shit. Also, thank you guys for the hype train. Holy shit. I like my mercury. I mean, you can get your natural mercury from like salmon, fresh salmon. The evil company in our mage game makes freezer meals. Yeah. Also, we're about to have an ad break, so let me go ahead and get y'all the words on stream, if you don't mind me. Where are we? Let me make sure I get that up and running. We can go ahead and bring the screen back down for y'all. Excuse me. Let's slide right on over here. Get rid of you, bring you up. All right, ad break's gonna start any minute. I'm not gonna go anywhere. We're just gonna keep yapping. Okay. I think it's still a couple seconds away. Yeah, it's stuck on starting soon, but that is fine with me. All the way to Tacoma, Philadelphia, Atlanta, LA. Oh my goodness. All right. But I learned to eat fast so I could avoid everyone in my house at the table. I'm not stopping. Yeah. Yeah. That's understanding. When's the words off stream? I still need to find y'all another game. I wonder what the one that Finn uses is. I think it's made by the same people. Me having to put the AC on because it's hot in my room? Yeah. Yeah. It is getting hot. That's like, I saw the news forecast this morning, and apparently starting tomorrow, we're expecting 90 plus degrees for the next week, with multiple of those days being heat records. Pray for me, chat. Pray for me. I'm going to melt. I'm going to melt. Observe me melting. Thinks I hate it? Yeah. I see the word. Do I say the word? What's the word? Carrie? Carrie? What's the word? Why are you concerned, Carrie? Why don't you want to say the word? What word could it be, Carrie? Didn't I do giggle already? Oh, there's no E. Never mind. Never mind. Nope. Nope. Sorry, Hectic. That ain't a word. I promise you, it's not a word. Whoa there, bud. Whoa there. For a meal? Oh, gigolo. Hi, Kono. What are you up to, bud? What trouble are you getting into? Were there two O's? I missed it if there were two O's. Longing was one. Okay, no. Wait. Longing was the all-letter word, so... As it were. Who knows? What are you up to today, Kono? Are you still out of town? Are you still on that... Or is that later? Staring at the left side of the screen at a pretty new model? Hi. Hi. Here, we'll do this. There we go. There we go. I haven't done anything without the jacket on for any of the streams, so why not? I also look back there, chat. Look, see, there's the jacket. You can see the backside of the jacket over there. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Jacked. Jacked. Fairbanks knows I'm a tight pant, big jacked kind of bitch. I like my crew necks. I'm pretty sure every time I've gone to see Fairbanks, I've worn the exact same crew neck, by the way. I just realized that. That's because my wardrobe is very limited. Yeah. Listen, it's okay, listen. When you're wearing things, it's tight pant, puffy jacked, or it's tight top, puffy pant. Okay? That's the combo here. That's the combo. I like my crew necks, therefore I wear the tight pant. It's fine. It's fine. Need more Merit merch in there? I actually did find a pretty cool artist earlier today. I think Finn actually has art from them too. But I have an idea for my own merch that we'll probably put up on Fourth Wall, which would be a little more affordable, I think, than Uwu Market. Uwu Market is a little expensive. But it's mainly because they produce all of their stuff in-house. So if you are ordering it from the US, it's going to be shockingly more affordable than some of the tariff stuff right now. So if you want to get new merch, did I make it again? Is it Uwu? Is it merch? It's just merch, isn't it? A yarp. Yeah, and then at some point we're also going to apparel is at Uwu Market if you want knickknacks or all kinds of smaller things. I recommend checking out our VT Horizon page, which technically just it just made it possible for them to make apparel. So we may be getting some apparel through them too. I also do have art. Y'all know here, we can swing over real quick. This good old screen. How would y'all feel if this was a mouse pad? Would y'all want this as a mouse pad? Keys? Case! Case! Alright, fuck, calm down! Alright, let me swing back over. We'll bring back the large chat. Gibbous MTG playmat? You could use that as an MTG playmat. It'd be like a desk pad. It'd be like a desk mat. And you could take it if you wanted to. You could take it as a desk mat. Because I know I can make it on fourth wall. I'll use my Rakdos deck. Hell yeah. Booba mouse pad. The thing is, like, with the Docky and, like, the Booba mouse pad, it's one of those things that to my brain, because I don't see the appeal. But I know y'all say you want one. The hardest part, though, is whenever y'all say y'all want something and we release something adjacent and then it doesn't really, like, sell well or anything. And Booba mouse pads and Dockies are heavy investment products. So they're a little harder to sell and a little harder to, like, kind of convince me to go in on them. A stack of Merid mats? A stack? What are you going to do with a stack? They must be made to order service so you don't have to worry about extras. True, but it's also, to get decent art for like a Docky or for a Booba mouse pad is expensive. I have to pay someone to design it because it has to be designed very specific ways for very specific dimensions. I have to get the commercial rights to it, which depending on the artist could be 100% extra, meaning it's immediately double the cost of the art. So a high quality $200 art, in order to be able to print it onto anything that I'm selling and would potentially make a profit off of, is now $400. And that's just if I'm lucky, if that's the only cost. I've seen some places that are, oh my God. There was somebody I was considering commissioning a while ago for a background. And when I went to talk to them, I was like, okay, so this seems to be like your pricing and everything. Is that right? She's like, yeah. It's like, are you going to use it on stream? And I go, yeah, I'm totally going to use it on stream. She goes, well, okay, that's my commercial one cost. So it's an extra 100%. I was like, oh, okay. And then she goes, are you going to use it for like merch or anything later? Because then it's a 250% addition. I'm like, I can't afford that. I'll come back later. Because then at that point, it's then like, it was like $1,000. I think it was like $1,050 was like what the total came up to if I wanted to use it for merch. And I was like, no, not a chance in hell. And it's like some artists that like regularly make merch and stuff, their like base price for good like Docky art is already like $450. Starts at $450. Yeah. I moved too much for it to be convenient anyways. Yeah. It's also the like, I don't think I'd be taking down the I'll do it for $150. You'll make the merch for $150, Fairbanks. I like your art style a lot, Fairbanks. I don't think it's the perfect style for something I want for like my Docky or my Booba thing. I think I've told you how I've like looked at your style. It's like, it's almost Disney-esque. Does that make sense? I don't think it's a bad thing. I think your art style is fucking fantastic, but it has this like toony goofiness to it that I'm like, I could see it on a Docky, but I don't think I want it on my Docky. Yeah. 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 I'll do it for $150. Is that 150 or is that $1.50? I'm confused because it goes from the number 1 to 50. New limited, not limited edition Merid merch in collaboration with Fairbanks. Wait, hold on. I couldn't remember if I had a keychain made by Fairbanks or not, and I do not. I have Manjiduku, I have Finnick, and Biggles have all designed keychains that are on sale on VT Horizon. I have, how many are these? I have 5 in my hand, and I have a Wiggle Baby on my, what is it? On my, I'm brain farting. On my car keys, that's what it is, on my car keys. I also have 4 extra Wiggle Baby keychains that were never for sale. These were never up for sale. I have 4 of them right here. Still in their packaging, about Jesus, coming up on maybe 2 or 3 years old. Demon, thank you for the 100K. What about card sleeves? Ooh, card sleeves are a little hard because right now, I don't know if I can get those made with VT Horizon. I might be able to get them made with, oh, what was it? With Fourth Wall. Fourth Wall may offer it. I actually do have a piece of art that isn't so bad. Here, let's do a little bit of a swing over really quick. So we'll move this over, move myself over. We're gonna put words on stream away. And then I have a piece of art that I could work with. I'm probably gonna go back to Zungi to like finish it because I also want to use this for business cards. Let me find it. Wait, where is it? Okay, maybe it's not down here. There it is. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. So, like... There we go. This was a, like, random concept that Zungi just made one day and then ended up, like, not finishing. And I saved it because I loved it so much. And what I think I would do is I would probably, like, honestly, maybe take me out of the back of this. And make it more like a carnival scene inside, or maybe a Ferris wheel. And that could be a good card sleeve design. This pose in poster form. Which pose? The me with my arms crossed, or like this picture? Yeah, Zungi's fucking awesome. Also, Rin actually commissioned Zungi for a piece with the two of us. My rigger did. And it's... It's not safe for work. I'll give you that. I will give you that. It is not safe for work. Perfect director of the bureau pose. Oh, just like the I don't think y'all are working hard enough. But yeah, this is a piece of art I have saved for, like, I want to get business cards. I want to get they could work for card sleeves. They could work pretty well for card sleeves. Marin for a Rakdos card in MTG. I agree, especially because Rakdos was probably kind of a little bit of inspiration for this idea. I think because there's not many other like murder carnivals that are out there that really kind of pose or that, what's the word, long running? Yeah, I think long running. Like I've seen a lot of like one-off like scary carnival movies. But Rakdos is probably the longest running with like the most story and character to it of anything. Chain Rebellion, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Let me go ahead and put the screen away. All right. Chats, is it Dishonored time? Or do we want to keep yapping? That 1 hour felt like it was really short. Doc Ketchum's murder suitcase. Doc Ketchum's what? The effect is cool. Well, thank you. I'd like my arms because they also come with extras. Here, let me just... Hi. My PC is on fire currently because of these arm effects. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. I can also, you know, just... So good at hugging, so good at throwing. Catch these hands. Catch these hands! What's wrong, Mocking? Are you okay? Also, the work it... Son of a bitch. Today was leg day. How could you do this to me? How could you do this to me? How many arms are too many arms, Marin? I mean, I have these, and then I have the floating hands. I mean, shut up. Don't worry about it. You heard nothing. Anyway, put those back away. Arms for petting Coco and cats. I don't have any cats. I have to go to Fairbanks' house to pet cats. I have to go visit Fairbanks. What's the theme / idea of the model? I'm the ringleader of the Dark Carnival. This is my cool jacket. I'm very punk in this as opposed to my last design that was very like queer ringleader, if that makes sense. There's a void here. Need a petting? I need to pet the void. His tummy is exposed. Oh my goodness. Yeah, unfortunately, the Twitch payout this month is not going to be super great. And right now, all the money that's going to be donated is going towards the housing fund. So I'm probably not really going to have any money for fun come Twitch payday. So even then, just getting the gas money to go down to Fairbanks is a little out of the budget. Because all of those up there don't come in until next month. Twitch payout bad? Click the Ko-fi chat? No, it's got y'all. If y'all want to put money in my pocket, it's gonna have to get past the 2K goal. It's gonna have to get past the 2K goal. I already did send what y'all gave me last week to Zai, so Zai already has the money. But what if I treated? Okay, maybe. Okay, maybe. Mayhaps. Time to fund a void petting trip. Am I good? Oh, we get Fairbanks. If you, I don't know how many more weeks we're gonna be here. Honestly, I'd much rather fly out in like July because I keep checking flight prices in July and they're good. Flight prices across the Atlantic in July, like midweek, fantastic, baby. I'm talking less than $600, fantastic. Ain't nobody flying in the middle of July on a weekday for some reason. Touch grass gifts, true. That would actually get the job done. You also just reminded me. Yes, I didn't realize that y'all were actually Mother's Day gifting yesterday after I made the post because Throne was not notifying me of anything. Apparently they emailed me, but my email wasn't getting notifications. So I had no idea that y'all were actually like buying me a meal, which is very funny. And apparently I'm signed out of my Throne for some reason. Maybe that's why. Marin didn't. Well, it's because it also takes a couple days. The thing is, though, is y'all sent me, it looks like $40 total because it was like $20 per meal. And I spent 39 something today at the grocery store for my week, for my food for the week. I got stuff that I made the Balduc chicken that I made last week. I made that again today for lunch. And then I got stuff to make pizza. I'm going to make pizza from scratch this week. Well, not completely from scratch. I bought a vodka sauce because a jar of vodka sauce right now is much cheaper than buying all of the ingredients to, what is it? What's the word? To produce or make a vodka sauce. Because usually that requires like Parmesan, tomatoes, all that jazz, and it'll be more than the cost of the jar. If I had a little more money and wasn't so tight, I would have bought... Oh, good Lord. Worked out just right, huh? Nice. Yeah. Was signing ins and outs. I don't know if they're maybe like updating their like API or anything right now. For tomato sauce? True, you don't need it for tomato sauce, but I wanted vodka sauce because I've never had a vodka sauce pizza. Okay. Oh, the keyboard company. Okay. Oh, that reminds me, chat. There was a company that actually reached out to me. And they wanted to make a custom keyboard. Again, it would be merch. But I turned them down a little bit because they wanted to use like old art that I already had, and I'd much rather get like custom art for y'all that like works well with a keyboard, if that makes sense. Marin Koki. But it's a little... It's a mixed bag because I'm looking at some of these and like I looked at their website and they're neat. They're like neat in their own little way. It looks like they also sent Queso a keyboard of his cat, which is very funny. But let me see. It's Goblin Tech Keys. Where is their website? Goblin Tech Keys. Oh God, they have Mother's Day keychains. Amazing. Amazing. But Corporate Swag, Goblin Customs, Goblin Collab. So let me see. Some of the people that they already have on here are like Nene Amano, Aruna Reaver, Freya, Lana Babe. Some of these I don't know. I know Aruna. I don't know Freya. But it is very interesting. It's kind of cute. But they look like kind of almost like hodgepodge, where they kind of just slam the images of VTubers over the top of keys and then get you a like custom colors. The thing is they're really expensive. They're really expensive, and I'm having a hard time like convincing y'all. I'm talking this 65% for Freya. Freya 65% RGB mechanical keyboard and keycaps. $170. I don't know what the base keyboard is. How many Marathon things can you collect? Are you really enjoying the True Carnival experience if it's not in the 4K Marathon monitor? It's just a monitor that has me like coming over the top to like creep on you. Listen, I like the clickety clack. Y'all can hear my keyboard all the time, but this is expensive. Like, I think the keyboard I have now is the most expensive one I think I've ever bought, and it was $80. It's like, it's a Logitech keyboard, a white Logitech keyboard. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking getting a white keyboard. I guess it was high. I don't know. That could be a cute merch idea. What, for like the monitor thing? I had to buy a new keyboard. I never went to look for a keyboard ever again. Before this keyboard, I had a $20 like Chinese like Ducky. I think it was a Ducky keyboard. Something close to Ducky, probably an off-brand, honestly. And it was $20 and it was fantastic. It lasted like 3 years. It was great. And I was like, I kind of want to invest in like a slightly larger keyboard so that I have like numlock, page up, page down and stuff. I still don't have a numpad. Ain't got no numpad. Haven't had a numpad since my gaming laptop in college. So like 2019. Yeah, 2019. Because I built my old PC that's over here next to me, still on the floor, the one that busted and like blew its motherboard and shit. Still next to me. Still need to figure out what to do with that piece of shit. Interest, thank you for the not follow, sorry. Change Rebellion, thank you for the follow, as well as Interest, thank you for buying a season pass. Holy shit. It popped up on Twitch way before it popped up in chat and the alert. Interesting. Very interesting. I gotta always have a numpad. It's how I toggle my expressions. Do you have a Stream Deck? Hector, do you have a Stream Deck? I got one with an old PC. The thing is, I technically have a numpad. It's, I have a Razer Corsair Scimitar. Not Razer. Corsair Scimitar. Corsair Scimitar. I was like, Razer Naga. No. I do technically still have an old Razer Naga, though. Like a pre-2014 Razer Naga. The old Razer Naga, baby. The old bulbous Razer Naga. I got rid of that 20-year-old PC. Who knows when I might need parts from it? It's 20-year-old PC. I don't think you're going to need it. The thing is, like, the only thing that's probably usable in this PC that's, like, worth taking out would be, like, the power supply, because that thing was basically less than a year old. I'm pretty sure it's a 1K power supply. I already took out the GPU. The GPU is a RTX 2070 Super Founders Edition that I already put back in its box that's sitting right next to it. So if anybody needs an RTX 2070 Super, it's for sale. If you want it, let me know. I will get a PO box simply to mail it to you. Tomorrow I must adult once again as I go to the workforce center. Oh boy. I went to a couple job interviews several weeks ago at this point. And I put on my old button-up shirt and all that jazz. My chest is too big. It doesn't fit anymore. I had to wear the jacket like buttons up, because if I didn't, I had like the little hole. I had to like little split. Based. It's not that impressive, okay? It's not that impressive. It was a tight button up to start with. It was supposed to be slim fit. And it was my own mistake to get it that way. Not that much. Not that much. But it was a little embarrassing to like put it on to be like, oh. Uh-oh. Oh, I'm about to wear this because it's the only button up I have that isn't a fucking, what's the word? That isn't a flannel. That's the word. My huge muscles. My muscles. I'm here to pump you up. Go to the gym, you fuckers. Listen, it's fine. It's fine. I'm also, it's also like the mix of being like, do I dare pump it so hard at the gym on arm days so that I can get the big muscular arms? Or do I do just regular to maintain muscle mass or tone it in instead of doing like other shit? But it's always like, my feelings towards it. Hi, Civet, how are you doing? My feelings towards it like change basically daily, where I'm like, I'll wake up some mornings and just be like, what was it? I'll just like wake up some days and just be like, oh, my arms are too big, or oh, my arms look like noodles. And I'm like, but the pump feels so good. I know the pump feels so good. I still refuse to go to the gym. You can't make me. Ordained, you don't have to go to the gym. You live in a country with the best gym of life privileges ever. You can walk and ride a bike just about everywhere. I don't know if you're urban. You're in an urban environment, right? Not forgetting to mention their extremely robust rail system. So like, Ordained, you're pretty much set. The thing is with like Americans and stuff, the gym of life has diminished into basically nothing. Most of us work sedentary jobs that like don't require major movement or anything. And most Americans do not go to the gym on the regular. I think it's something like 7% of Americans go to the gym. And that's not even like regularly. That's like have a gym membership. I can walk to my job. Hell yeah. How many is it chats or how many chatters can hang off of Marin's arm? The real buff measurements? Ooh, that's a good question. I don't think I'm that strong. I really don't. I'm not like ridiculously strong. I'm not even like impressively strong. I'm just doing my best to get fit. Like, I don't even push like leg days. I have 2 leg days a week. And I have like for leg press, I've hovered around like 300 pounds forever. Because I'm just like, yeah, this is all I need. I still feel the burn when I get like 15 reps in. So no reason to go up. Although there is one thing I need to do. I need to do, I owe ordained squats. Hold on. All right, we got to do these squats. Ugh. All right, let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right. The thing that sucks too at the Planet Fitness I go to, they don't have like, I don't know what to call it. At my last gym, it was called like a fitness zone or an active zone, where you can actually do like calisthenics and stuff, or like do like tire pushes and everything. My current gym does not have that. It is not exceedingly large. Just 20. Just 20, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Not 100% on that. All right. Da-da-da-da. The thing is, I also feel like my back is getting too big recently. Like, I think my back is the part I'm most proud of. But when I do like, I feel like these shirts that I had that used to be really big are getting like, I'm kind of fitting in them a little more, and I don't think I like it. I don't think I like it. Could I get that carnival gym open? Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, my old gym had the same, but it was basically always being used by folks doing yoga. There was the, I mentioned Crunch Gym earlier. I went to Crunch Gym for a while. The Crunch Gym had like that active zone, and they actually had a separate room. They had an entire like enclosed room where they would do like various classes, but also if they weren't doing a class, it was a yoga space. So that's where anybody who came to do yoga at the gym would do their yoga. Marin, go yoga? I've never done yoga. Not once. Not once have I done yoga. Crunch Gym, where we don't sweep the floor. Actually, the one I went to was pretty clean. It was very clean. I quite liked it. It was just, it's a little further drive if I wanted to go to Crunch again. It's the fact that there's a Planet Fitness like right next to me. It's still like a 5-minute drive or so. But if I wanted to go to Crunch, it would be like a 15 to 20 minute drive. Did I hear Jim? Hi, Bertle. How are you doing? Jim. Listen, everybody should have a little bit of exercise in their life, and I highly recommend finding it in the gym. The gym is going to be your best friend. Enjoy your Lurk Ordain. Wait, where are you going? Where are you going with that axe and knives? Also, chat, we've been yapping for an hour and a half. It really doesn't feel like that. Why is today going so fast? What the Somebody made a mod for Counter-Strike where their gun turns into just a bowl of bullets. And they pick up the bullets with chopsticks and just flick them to shoot. That's dirty. That's such a good mod. This is a Yap stream now? No, I want to play Dishonored. I'll pull in a second. Oh no. Okay, never mind. That's just family stuff. I thought a friend had a terrible diagnosis and I got real scared. Okay, let's tuck this away. We will go ahead and get Dishonored up and rolling. I'm actually going to change the category before we get it up because I'm confident it's going to do the weird fucky thing where it like messes up the resolution of my whole PC for a minute before I can like go change the settings. So buckle up, Buttercup. That's what I've been saying since I work tomorrow. Gotcha. All right, nobody move. Everybody hold still. Okay, it already fucked up the resolution, so I'm already gonna have to fix that. Great. I can't see shit. Even though every time I load this game up, I change the fucking settings. Oh. I changed the settings to like... Raggle. All right, chat. This is if I can't see you right now, so this is the perfect time for you to get up to no good. No, that's not where I wanted to go to. Visuals. 1920 by 1080. Let it do all of its flickering shit as it realizes the PC is absolutely fucked. Oh, Jesus. Okay. I lived. Oh my God. Okay. Shit's now on the right monitor. Okay, I gotta sneeze. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Secret comfy time? What do you mean secret comfy time? You saying I'm not comfy? You saying I'm not comfy? Sunsar? Am I not comfy? Pomato's work emote? Pomato's work emote is very good. I like Palm's work emotes. Oh, what the shit? Oh shit, hold on. It's on exclusive full screen for some reason. It really does just reset the graphics settings, and I have no idea why. Visuals. Borderless full screen. Yes. Okay. Okay. And then let me actually... Oh, son of a bitch. Let me actually check something really quick. Properties. Trying to see if maybe there's like... something I can do to like make sure it stops fucking resetting. That's fine. All right. Okay, this does not feel like it's on fucking Borderless, but it is, apparently, in my suffering. All right, we're gonna swing over here. Hi, chat. Oh, it's on the wrong side. Of course it is. Of course it is. I'm gonna have to change the gaming position later. All right. Oakley dokley. We'll get a little smaller. We'll get a little smaller. All right. God, I hate having something in every corner. It kind of bothers me. It feels cluttered, like the weekly passes up there and then having the bar. Oh, I hate it. Oh, I hate it. It's fine. We can get rid of the bar as soon as it's paid for. But let me also fix the capture. Dishonored? Okay, there we go. This is a cornerless space, apparently. All right, no more music. Hi, Zosa, thank you for self-care. All right, so chance, last time we played, oh, am I lagging? Last time we played, we had just gotten to the mansion, which is going to be a pain. Because if I remember right, there's witches here.
Something is wrong here. Even the air feels off.
I can't magic. Fuck. Did y'all hear that?
Stilton's sealed off from the rest of the district.
Yeah.
This was once my world. All things, from the northernmost shores to here, Karnaca in the south.
Oh, shit. Y'all hear those sounds, right? I swear to God, I'm here. There's a free mansion with witches. Oh, shit. Oh, no. I don't think I can get the height I need to get on top of those lamps. And I can't use any spells.
The downtrodden, the poor and forgotten,
Yeah, okay, that's fine. I think we just have to go in.
who speak
Peeky time. Rats. Dust District. So yeah, people have been here. This feels kind of weird. Give me those coins.
Could that be Stilton?
Could what be Stilton? Okay, let's go get that rune. Thing is, I don't remember this level very well, other than this is like...
When no one keeps the rooms clean and dry, the house goes to rot.
Well, Hold on, how much do we have? Oh, geez, do we have 7 runes? Okay, hold on. Nah. It's bin time. That's what we had. And we want stop time. Yeah, baby. Okay. Because that'll be useful later on. Wait, what is... Oh. Oh, fuck. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so I just saw somebody in there.
I dreamed that Duke and I were hunting, but the deer had faces.
Oh god, the problem is my eyesight is...
There are whales down in the mines. I hear them howling to one another.
Stilton? Sir Conan Cayman. Okay, there's supposed to be a alligator of some kind there. Crocodilian.
How did I get so old?
Oh, he's beneath me.
Of my younger days. The dances we
We'll go down there in a second. Because I'm pretty sure... See, there he is.
time is leaking, coming out of the walls. It's ruining the carpets. I've got to clean up
Can I... Doesn't look like I could open that window.
among the upper crust. The fine.
Huh. Okay. Hi, Stilton.
Aramis Stilton?
Warm the quilts, will you?
3 years ago, something inside Aramis Stilton snapped like a cherry.
Okay, look at all them rats. Time's leaking on the carpets again. Not my carpets.
Never left that evening,
Oh, wait, was it in the tub? Oh, I missed it. It was in the tub this whole time.
setting their grand plan into motion. Delilah's plan. And a part of Aramis Stilton is always here, still breaking. The void is not exactly a place, and it's much older and stranger than you could ever.
Because I figured it wasn't exactly a place, considering you seem to be able to pull me into it wherever I am.
The heart of Stilton's house. The void is leaking through a pinprick left behind by Delilah's little trick.
Okay.
Even magic is perverted here, and things don't work like they should. Take this. Imagine it's a kind of timepiece.
Ah, shit.
Go and watch the Duke and Delilah. See for yourself what they did.
Yes.
Like it's going.
Hold on. I'm gonna have to assign this to something. We're gonna assign this to 3. Timepiece. Timepiece travel between present and past. Right click to change timelines. F to hold or unlock the lens showing the other timeline. Change timelines to concurrent to circumvent obstacles. Okay. Whew. Quick save.
Go to Dunwall and tell the Empress that the Duke is in the garden digging up corpses, and he has learned how to sing. She'll know what you mean.
He's trapped inside himself. Some terrible ceremony echoes through his loss.
I can sense it.
Okay.
How many dead?
By the void.
Your guests are waiting in the study. The Duke is demanding refreshments, and I can't get in without the combination.
There's a note on the door, Captain Wintermore.
What? He's out back. I need the code to the study.
It's in his notebook, but he keeps it.
Oh, it's upstairs. Oh, okay. It's both in the past and the present. Ooh.
Earlier, I got my ass chewed out by the royal curator. What's her name?
But it still seems like I have no magic, which is going to make this quite a bit harder. Jeez. I'm gonna turn the game up in my ears, and I think I'm gonna turn it up for y'all. So give me just a second. Turn that up a little bit. Had a level that was very similar to this, and it came out a couple weeks before the game. Yeah, it did. I remember that one, but I forget. Couldn't you, like, you can't choose when you shift time in that one, couldn't you? Okay, so we're gonna do it this way. Fuck, I don't think I can jump high enough for that.
That thing of bones that Ashworth made.
Could I?
It's on the ceiling. I hear it at night. Bones from deep, far beneath the waves. What's wrong with my house? Where am I going?
So this is the downside to this mission, is there's not only guards on this level, there's also servants.
The only way out of here is through the present, using this timepiece.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I remember why. So we had to, this is one of the goofy parts. You have to just stand on the other,
The way they look at me.
just stand on the other side of the door and just, ta-da. There's a letter. The Duke and some others are in the study. Make sure they're comfortable. If you join me, I'll be back in the courtyard clearing my head before I'll join them. If you need the most recent code to the study, it's in my notebook. Come find me. Okay, so we need to go find past Stilton.
Stilton's home was quite nice before whatever happened.
That's a cool painting. Okay.
What am I supposed to do with a request like that?
Son of a bitch.
Cherry wine in the south?
I don't feel safe. What is wrong with this city?
Oh, it's a rabbit. I thought that was a person for a second. Whew. Okay. Nap time. Okay. I'm guessing I could go through this if I was a rat. Dare I try it? I don't even know what's through here. Oh, what the heck? Hi, Commander. Yes. Using a gadget mode. Oh, okay. Okay, looks like this is just a storage room. Oh, I don't have the kitchen key. Will one of them have the... No. No. Could it be... Carry fish tail? Ooh, whalebone. Don't mind if I do. This is gonna make it a lot harder because I rely on dark vision because I am very blind. So instructions for next supper. 5 of us don't get the usual things though. You have to get the imported cheese. Ooh, fancy. Someone mentioned Kilkenny Cavern cheese and wine from Bristol. The best, the very best that you can find. Follow one of the cooks from a noble houses if you have to. Is the Duke himself we will be hosting. I want to serve these tiny barnacles wrapped in pork belly. I Had them at a gallery last month and couldn't get enough and get sardines and those little twice cooked cakes from the bakery and some sweets. No matter the money, if you're not sure, come see me. Aramis. Okay, so that's Stilton. But... What the fuck is that? That looks like the same like bag of goop that what's her name pulled out of the fucking blood flies. Yeah, this is the hair. And I don't like how humanoid it feels. Ouches. Give me those jellied eels. I eat every can of jellied eel I can find. One charm through the wall. Ooh. Okay, let's test something. Oh, I can't use any. So it couldn't be rat, right? Oh, you want to know something? I'm very stupid. Uh-huh. See, this is the downside, that there's technically more jelly deals. There's technically 2 maps here, and my ass is gonna constantly forget I'm supposed to swap between. Okay. There we go. Nothing else? Oh, I see you. Give me the rewire tool. Okay. Also, hold on. For a split second, look at how big this fucking, like, what do you call this? Easling? I forget what these are called. I'm a whole ass person that can fit up here. And it can support my weight. That shit's insane. Okay. Oh shit, there are 2 there. Whew. I was almost bad.
Accept my transfer. I've got to get over to one of the other districts.
We're gonna play the waiting game. See, this is the weird part about this section. Is you have to like kind of cheese in different ways. All right, we're gonna try it this way.
I'm bored.
God damn it. Oh no, we still have 5 minutes to the ad break. Marion's playing the dad. Wait, the dad? No, I'm not. I'm playing Emily. I saved before I got this guy. The problem is, he doesn't seem to pace anywhere. So, we could... Do I dare just go through here? Yeah, I dare. I dare. Huh? Son of a fucking bitch. I think that counted. I'm gonna double check. No, we're good. Oh, shit. Okay. Okay. So... Oh, I don't have the right thing equipped. I don't think I can, like... I'm almost certain that I can't, like, jump through time. I'm pretty sure it, like, slows me down. I'm, like, almost entirely certain of that. I'm just double checking for anybody who's gonna be like standing here, but it looks like we're good. Looks like we're good.
An entire shipment of whale oil.
Afternoon, gents. I do kind of want to
Taken right from under their noses.
check around this section. Huh. Is it a, do I hear a fly or do I hear like a zappy sound?
Party house one night. Now I'm covered in shankers.
Whew. How is this chandelier higher than its original position? Okay. Do I do. I have plenty. So, domino time. Oh, fuck. I can't fucking use domino. Ugh, every time. I'm gonna keep falling for that. I know I am. Okay. Ooh. Oh. Oh, I see. That's why. Did there links? Okay. Shut up. You didn't see shit.
Maybe I should just work the double shift. But not to listen to him tell me about how good
That's why. Ooh. Okay, we actually need you lower. Okay, so now this is at the same level, so I can just teleport through. And we can jump up here. Bitter blood. Okay. Bloodflies attack at slightly... Ooh! I'll take that. I'll equip that, because I already saw that room. Traditional Serkonan songs. Okay, this is just another songbook. Huh. Seems like the door blockers are still here. I remember those from the first game. Okay. Now we can come down here. Okay, hold on. Alright, we're going back.
I'm bored.
I'm sure you are, champ. Make sure I save. Make sure I save. Yes, Pretzel, what can I do for you? I love when they did a mission like this in Titanfall. It's very interesting, but I think it was very unusual that they did it. We're also, ad break just started, you guys, so I'm going to go ahead and yoink. There you go. We'll take the words on stream. I need to refill my water. Actually, I was gonna say, I don't think I'm gonna go anywhere, but no, I need to refill my water. So I will give you all the music and I'll be back in just a minute or two. Yeah, ads. I can still see you though, just in case you can hear me. I'll be back in a couple minutes, you guys. Okie dokie. What happens? Here, we'll do one more round. 30 seconds is enough for y'all to make it through halfway through a level, so that's enough for me to let you have one. Meister Rosie VT, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Are you indeed from Vermont? All right. Turning the music down. Okie dokie. And then we can get right back into totally not murdering. Yes. Wait. I just remembered, did that say that we had non-lethal, or we had lethal takedowns? Hold on, now I gotta check. Stats. Okay, non-lethal takedowns. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're still good. Oh, goodness. All right. Through, thorough, though, rough. Grout and Thug. Nice. Nice. Trout? No, there's only one T. There's only one T. Okay. Hold on, let me double check a thing really quick. Hey chat, you should all go do a thing. We're gonna do exclamation. Is it SO? Y'all should go to Faye's stream too. Faye's currently live for the first time in a long time, and she's gonna be doing a reading of War of the Worlds for probably about the next like hour and a half or so is what she told me. So you should like totally go check her out, give her all that sweet, sweet support. She's also raising money for her end of the house fund. So eyebrows. All right, let me also, we can put this away, put the music away, break out the extra eyes and my glasses. Gonna need my glasses. Okay. Where am I? Who are you people? I'm gonna quick save because I don't remember where the last quick save I did was. I also do not understand who the statue is supposed to be. Okay. Oh, it's a mirror. Actually, hold on a second.
Still can actually play the harp or the piano.
Not that I ever heard.
What are you doing here? Why hire a tuner for instruments
Okay.
you never played?
So we're gonna do it this way. There's a guard and a harpist. Hold on. Look at these pillows. Why are these square pillows? It feels like there's supposed to be something in here. Maybe I'm wrong? Can I get... Oh, it doesn't look like I can open any of the windows. It's like, well, thank you, witch. No need to fluff square. That's probably true, but they also seem like really firm. Anglerfish. Oh, hey. Oh, Jesus, hi. Whew. Okay, so... Okay, we know he's gone. Hello, sir. Okay, I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry I'm gonna have to do this to you. Okay, there's gotta be something in here, right? Apparently singular bullets is what's in here. A wig stand? Makeup boxes, it looks like. Okay. They were just tuning an instrument? I know. Yeah. Okay then. Peekaboo. Okay. There's somebody over there. And there's this lady. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do.
What will change in the present based on what I do here tonight?
Then we're gonna do this. I could have swore this was where I saw the witch, but I guess that was wrong? Question mark? Hold on, let's see. Why did it blink like that? Okay. I swear, there feels like there's supposed to be somebody in here or something. But I guess there's not, so we'll go ahead and swap back. Oh, there's a health jar in there. I thought that was a rock. Holiday for minors granted? Mine honorarium is still to be held annually on the anniversary of late great Duke Theodonis Abel's death. Complimentary beverages and other consumables will be available until midnight. The Batista Community Saloon. Aww. And retained for the delight of all assembled, feats of skill will be held, challenging those who dare to games of stone tossing and rat catching. That's cool. Kind of. As Theodonis Day will be marked by remembrances of the former Duke and his many fine accomplishments for the benefits of the beloved Carcana. Okay, it's kind of cute. The Duchess in green. Oh, okay, this is his wife. This is the current Duke's mother.
Stilton wasn't born to all this. Allegedly, he started as a minor.
Allegedly. Allegedly. I mean, it's possible.
Huh?
Huh? Who are you, invisible man? Okay. She's still fucking there. Hold on, this was the direction we went before. I don't think I actually need to go this way for anything. Oh shit, she got up. Hello. Oh, son of a bitch. This game is a little kind of like janky when it comes to... Hi, Vanilla Knight. Wait, what did Kofi Bot do? Nap time, nap time, nap time. I could have swore I was able to use magic here before.
Every day yet? Gotta be soon. Can't stand my own stench.
I think they're below.
There's something else you should know. The center of the manor is off limits.
Okay, hold on.
Everything around the study.
What's so special about the center of the manor?
No.
Trevor, I'm surprised you had the guts to admit you were scared of me. Good, maybe you should be. I'm getting pretty good with the blade. Anyway, I'm a howler now. I ain't going back to my life like it was before. If you don't want to join up to because you're too scared or too weak, then to the blade with you. I already got 4 new boyfriends and a couple girlfriends too if I want them. I've done credit. We love a bisexual king. We love a bisexual king. So I guess this is goodbye forever unless you change your mind and join up.
Thing, usually. But you have to understand.
Okay, they didn't react, but okay. No, we're still good. Apparently still good. That's probably honestly the door we have to go through. See, there's that horrifying fucking head again. I swear there's something in here. Nothing? Is it just a hiding spot? Oh, wait, nope, there's Whalebone. Okay. So. Oh! Vanilla Knight! They live in it. I hope all goes well and happy. Oh, thank you, Vanilla. Thank you so much. What is that set? 46%? That went up 2%. So I think we're about 100 away. Does that put us 100 away? No, that can't be right.
Your blood. So I'll just draw it.
Huh? Oh, that's him. Nope, 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 nope. Okay. Fuck it. Oh, shit.
Really well.
Okay. I think... Okay, yeah, that's where we tried to come up before, where those other two guards are. So that's who was talking. Alright, but now we gotta do... Master Key. That means we have to go to the courtyard, doesn't it? Right. Right. Okay, so I'm lucky it wasn't a witch that I thought I saw. Okay, as soon as this other guy paces back, I'm gonna grab this dude that just stands here at the stairs. Also, I just realized there's a bone charm inside. You're fucking joking. You're fucking joking. God damn it. That's so stupid. What the fuck was that sound? Y'all heard that, right?
Getting so one can't even breathe.
Oh, I don't need to go up here. Oh, son of a bitch. What's your favorite color? Red. Or like a forest green. Red or a forest green. I can't. Oh, he fucking sat down this time. Are you serious? Also, did y'all notice there's a bone charm spinning? Oh, y'all can't see it. There's a bone charm spinning around inside the fucking timepiece. You know what? Hello? I'd like to take my dart back, please. Oh. To all who work tonight. Also, wait, who was that? I missed it. Who did the $20? Ginger! We need the Norway branch of the carnival. Everybody needs the Euro branch. Do you carry a bag or a wallet more? I have a wallet. I don't have a bag. I have a big wallet that I believe Hanedu bought me off the throne. It's the big carnival ticket wallet. I love it. I think it's the old like Killstar Carnival Day Noir, something like that. Bones are the key to time travel? Apparently, which means my collection of bones and my habit of stealing them is well worth it. Working tonight, Mr. Stilton asked me to restrict access to the Great Hall. After the arrival of the Duke and his other guests, they'll have their own people with them tonight for security. I'll be in the dining room if you need me. Fuck. Yeah, that's why we needed the, so it's the guy that's sitting at the table, which was, I believe, this way.
Damn it. I need to pee.
You'll hear him. I think, but I don't know for sure. There's 4 guys here. I literally only have 4 sleep darts. And I can't put the sun mine would only appear in okay, I may have an idea. I may have an idea. This is gonna be a very dumb idea. Oh, I can't use powers. Never mind. I was gonna be like, can I stop time? I could stop time and do it, maybe. I don't know. Oh, he's right underneath me. You're learning leatherworking. Ooh. Do I dare just like pop all of them with sleep darts? And just use all my sleep darts on these guys? Actually, hold on. I'm pretty sure there's an achievement for in here. Let me do this. Excuse me, pardon me. Let me under. Let me under, damn it. Whew.
C-D-E-N-G.
Hey, got the achievement.
G-J-K elementally. Q rescue.
Double V. Excuse me. Just gonna get right on out of here. Right out of your hair. Don't mind if I do. All right, we got our master key. So let's go snooping. And hopefully I don't actually have to TP into the... Okay, I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of scared. Because look at all this. Oh!
That looks like reinforced glass.
Also, for the fucking monkey. I don't like that. I don't like the weird vampire monkey. Interesting. Ah, so there are multiple. Okay. Give me that. Letter to Arima's Stilton. Good sir, we write with some excellent excitement regarding the planned extension of your home. We're ready to unveil our plans for a new function and appealing office space. Might you have time to view our drawings in the coming weeks? We are completely at your disposal and are ready to begin construction upon the very instant of your approval. Respectfully yours, K. Kierkegaard and A. Moranola. Moranola's Architecture and Supplies. Okay. So, I think we go back. Open the door.
That looks like reinforced glass. Is there a break-in?
Nothing of the sort.
You did a quick save.
For Mr. Stilton. His
Windows went out of style? These rich choppers drive me nuts.
Stilton just worries about his home.
Okay. Oh, hey. To the house staff. Well, them workers are coming tonight to fix up that window. It's the only time I have get them to come. Jesus. They made a big stink about how busy they was for months now, and tonight's the only time they got for us. I reminded them that it's for Mr. Remus Stilton, and they said they don't care if he were the Duke himself. It's tonight or not for months, so let him get on with fixing the window, is all I'm saying. Jamie. Okay. Hold on. Okay, all this stuff is elsewhere. That's fine. So, what's blocking this? Something. Okay. Okay, the mannequin kind of got me for a second. Yum yum. It kind of rustled my jimmies for a second. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I was shook. Okay. Doesn't seem like there's anything in here. Or it could just be that ruin in the other room. Oh. Okay. Hop back. Jesus. That thing nearly got me again. Okay. Quick save. Oh. I need to go out the broken window, don't I? Well, that doesn't seem to be the case. That doesn't look like I can get out it at all. Whoops. Okay, this is where I was down below before. Okay, I have an idea. A very dangerous idea. Oh. Me over. Wait, was that the guard? Is the guard back? Fuck, he is back.
Are you all right?
Did I miss? Okay, no, he's down. Okay. Whew. Okay.
Oh, shit.
Good talk, boss. Okay. Hi, guys. Damn, I'm glad y'all have short sight. Okay, so we're missing something to get into that room. But the question is, what? So where are we? The study at 7. No, we're in the... Fuck, where's the front door? Right here? Okay, so we're up on the 2nd floor, right by this closet. And this is where they're building on, so... Still doesn't look like they ever did finish it. So...
I can't hear anything. It'd be easier if we could open the door and get closer. You sure the combination you saw?
Whatever happens seems to be centered at some focal point. I need the combination to Stilton's study.
Combination? Oh, wow. Okay. So... Oh, there's hounds. Oh! Oh, son of a bitch. Fun fact, Megan got her arm back if you knock out Stilton. Oh! The one underneath. Oh, black one. Ooh. Excuse me. Ah, shit, this is gonna hurt. Oh, never mind, I nailed it. Never mind, nailed it. I'm the best. Okay, it's up one.
Martha, won't you marry me? 12 weeks have I been at sea, chasing monsters in the brine, dancing hagfish on the line. Martha, won't you marry me? 12 weeks have I been at sea.
Okay.
This shirt reeks. I've got to get a spare uniform.
Oh, this is the incinerator. I remember this for something. I just don't remember what.
Accept my transfer.
Close that. Give pouch. Oh yeah, sleep darts. Let's go. Okay. Jamie, would you please send this note to Lucia Pastor at the Miners Family Committee along with my mask prototype? Make sure to clean it up a bit first. Thank you. Have you seen my plan for the mask? I fashioned one for myself and wore it in our deepest mine for over 2 days. I'm excited to say it has some very promising qualities, significantly reducing the intake of solids into the lungs. You must try it also because I want your thoughts on the matter. I would like to begin manufacturing those for all mining crews with some urgency. A. Stilton.
I wonder what I was doing in Dunwall on this night. Or what I am doing.
That's a good point. Is this new model? I love it. Hi, Spooky. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Wins in the Kanaka landmass, resulting economic positions. Whale oil liquid power. How astonishing that within these beasts, inside the whale harvested along with their flesh, was enough power to see the Isles through some tumultuous years. And it all seemed limitless, but now the lights begin to dim. Our fisher folks say the great beasts are increasingly rare. Not all places will suffer the loss equally, fellow natural philosophers. Karnaca has a unique feature, the cleft in Shindaray Peak, through which the winds are channeled and amplified. As whale oil begins to run short, with the cost of finding the remaining Leviathans escalating beyond the worth of the oil itself, Karnaca will find itself ascendant among the Isles, in the case of their wind power. Okay. I don't like whatever that is. Yes, Ow. Hi, Giselle. Welcome in. Wait a second. Fuck. Okay. I swear there was... Okay, maybe I do need to swap. I'm pretty sure it's safe. Okay. Hello. Ah. But... Destination blocked. More rewire tools. Why are there so many rewire tools around? So this, I believe, is the panic room he was building. I'm pretty sure that safe looks like it's broken or like never been assembled. Very interesting. Okay. Suppose our chisels shoved in somebody's head. Okay. I see. And then this. Can you take care of this dead hound? I'm just waiting for you to take action. You know about my ongoing Silvergraph project. Came across this dead hound and I thought how perfect for my art, so I brought it home, but then I noticed some suspicious swelling across the rib cage. I panicked. What if it's bloodfly larva? Okay.
Maybe it's open in the present.
That's a good point. All right, we gotta wait for this dog to finish cooking. Because I'm pretty sure it does something. Okay. There it is. See, the nest is gone now. Two, 3, 8. Okay. I like what they did with a lot of these missions. They're very cool. Num. Num. Num num. Num. Alright. What did you give me? Far Reach renders you invisible during movement. Maximum health increase. We'll swap that out. We don't use it that often compared to like Blink, but we're also not getting hit by anything, so we technically don't need... Okay, hold on. Where is it? There we go. Whew. Sad thing is, though, is I think it only affects the... One guy on the ground. Let me in. Let me in. Let me in.
What I wouldn't give for a bottle of pear soda. So if I have 2, and I give him 1, I still got...
Oh my god. Oh my god, let me out. Son of a bitch! Are you serious? hate when it does this. Oh my god. I'm like walking forward. I'm walking forward. You are the fucking worst. Hello? Hold on.
Careful, don't throw it. Drop it gently. It's silver. It's not going to break. I'm not worried about it breaking. You know what? The basement's sealed off. Blood flies.
Ah. Okay. I have a plan. And then... Ta-da! Wait, where is it? Oh, it's on the floor. Assassin's Fortune. Slight chance of containing one... Nah. And yes, I was walking forward through the hole, you goofball. And then I still can't get out it. I still can't get out it. Ooh, hi guys. Arrows. Oh. Okay. There's more than one guy here, isn't there? Okay. I swear. Who was he talking to earlier? Oh, there he is. Can you imagine? No evidence of a person going through your house except every single one of your guards is just unfucking conscious. Okay. Do a save. Now, give me that. Crank wheel. Don't mind if I do. I think you can just... Oh. Yobi. Okay. Are you... Where is... Do the pump? I swear there was like a pump or something in here. Is I wrong? Okay, this is gonna get nasty, so... Okay. Okay. Wait, where is it? There it is. So that didn't work. Okay. So... Okay. Drain the water to recover a ruin. Okay. But... Okay, I think I have an idea. There it is. Yeah. I don't know if that's gonna work, but I'm gonna try it. Let me go through. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's just like multiple ways to do the same puzzle technically. Oh shit! Whew. Yeah, because that means this place never flooded and it never like flushed out the fucking blood fly nest. Whew. Stress myself out there. Okay. Although that also means that we get the really quick. We can go ahead and get the binge time, bonus time. Even though we can't use magic right now. Okay. Yes, please. Ooh. Yes. Take a nap. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. Hold on. We need to figure... There he is. Don't turn around, don't turn around, don't turn around, don't turn around, don't turn around. Okay. Ah, not the parade! You never know when you'll run into. Oh no. Okay, we're gonna do... Okay, we're still good. So, this is gonna be the weird part. Because, see, there's a guy over there. So, my goal is to do this. Hi, buddy. Come back here with me. And then you just... fuck. Oh, shit. Yeah, we'll go outside. We'll go outside. It's fine. It's fine. And I'm pretty sure this is... This has something out here. Like a jumping puzzle or something. I forget. Oh, shit. Oh, you're fucking joking. Oh!
So, if I have two and I give him one, it still got me one, but then if I eat it, no, wait, no, if he eats
Okay, it doesn't seem like there's a, what do you call it? A, like, keeper here. So I think I can just... Well, that's... Hi, buddy. Okay. Take that pouch. So, combinations
The
down
Grand
there.
Guard was protecting Stilton back then.
But I'm guessing that didn't last. Now, did it? Another hound. Couple hounds. Uh-oh. There's Stilton right there. Question is, do I want to take out Stilton, or do I even need to? Let's go over here. That didn't count, right? Okay. Is there also oh, there is a nest underneath me. Okay, we'll swap back.
Deanna Ashworth gotten the Duke up to? All this talk of the void, such rubbish.
Oh, isn't it laundry day yet?
1, 2, 3.
One day, young Luca
4.
will go too far.
I have an idea.
May I live to see that day.
Why would he say that?
Okay. Whew. Okay. Okay, hold on. Hello? Bum, 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 bum. All right, we got 4 minutes until the ad break. All right, hold on. We're gonna do something dangerous. And that's just...
After tonight, it will all go well.
I'm sure I want to know if I can go talk to him.
Last time I left it open, someone left a hagfish in my jacket pocket.
Sometimes I wonder, is Luca
All right, she's about to go to sleep.
father's son? By the void! Oh, I need assistance! Oh, someone send for the guard!
That's fine with me. I'm sure that doesn't matter.
That note.
Coming tonight, there'll be so many strangers. 5, the coins in my pocket when I left Morley and came to Karnaca. 1 coin for each week until I take another boat and join you, my mother said, but then she never came. 7, my birth month. I'm probably the only person who knows the date that Theodonis passed away. 4, the number painted on my lunch bucket when I worked the mines. I was just a kid, but if okay, so 5, 7, 4.
The book contains Stilton's combination.
Okay. Okay, I guess we gotta go in this way. Yep, back to the manor. And hopefully we're not gonna spawn in right next to a fucking enemy. Hopefully. Wait, does it say 3 minutes till the ad break? Ad break starts in 3 minutes. Okay. Ooh.
How long you worked this assignment?
Since the month of Hearst last year. Still was alright.
Sheila told me he used to be a miner.
Excuse me, I'm just gonna scurry. Oh, fuck. Oh, Jesus, there's so many of them. I'd like to take that blood amber, please. Whew. Okay. There's another guy sitting right there. And there's a guy right fucking there. Are you gonna walk? You gonna walk all the way over here? You know what? Let's just gonna keep moving. We're just gonna keep moving. I don't think we're missing. Yeah, we've gotten all the ones on this side. Heals me. Just gonna keep moving. And the study is up there. Hello? Also, hold on, I gotta sneeze. Oh my goodness. All right, we got less than a minute. I'm gonna try to get to like it just like outside the study, I guess. We've already taken care of everything here.
Whatever happens seems to be centered at some focal point.
Oh, hi! Okay. Okay. Let's do this very dangerously, I feel.
Can't hear anything. It'd be easier if we could open the door and get closer. You sure the combination you saw doesn't work? I got a glimpse of...
That didn't work. Maybe I gotta wait for the other guy. Dismarant? What do you mean, dismarant?
You sure the combination you saw doesn't work? I got a glimpse of Stilton's notebook last month, but he must have changed...
Okay, gotta double check. Whew. Okay, we're good. Do a hard save. We're gonna do a hard save. And ad break started. All right, guys, we'll be back in a couple minutes. I'm gonna go nibble on some of my leftover lunch for a second while we have some time. They unmirrored our go-round. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right, we'll be back in a couple seconds. Couple minutes, if you will. Don't burn anything down. Okay. I realized I didn't mute myself before I left, so y'all may have heard me Gucci Gucci gooing at Coco. Who's my whale baby? Coco's my whale baby. My 12-year-old baby. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right, we only need this one more round, so then we're good to go. I want to get through this mission and hopefully... Oh, I froze. Why did I freeze? Oh. Okay, there we go. There we go. I'm back. I stole even more knives. Whose knives did you steal? Better not be mine. If I go back in there and I find all my kitchen knives are gone, Ordain, me and you are going to have some splaining to do. I will put you in air jail, mister. I will put you in air jail. So help me God. Air jail, mister. Air jail. So shall it be. Oh no, y'all didn't make it. Oh, so close. All right, guys, we're gonna leave Ordain in air jail for a little bit. We'll just like, is here good? Do we want to put him like here? I think this is a good spot. Or do we need to put him somewhere else? Do we need to kind of like dingle him over chat? The creature is captured. The creature has been captured. I'm gonna make a video redeem for that. I just need to figure out what to make the music for it. All right, we'll leave that there for a little bit. No more music. Turn a couple of these thingamadoohickeys off, and then we can get back to it. I'm sure this will be fine. It was 547, I think. Maybe it was 7-4. Okay, that didn't work. So it's 7-4.
Things seem to be the worst here. The two times are overlapping now somehow.
Welcome again to my house. Let's get this.
Here's the Cayman. Well, actually, yeah, this is the Cayman. The Draconan Cayman.
It has never been done. It's beyond my understanding, and certainly beyond yours. If anyone has any doubts...
God, this is just like the psychic era of like the 90s. 1900s, not 90s. Of the late 1900s. Oh, well, there's our crown killer.
Yes, I can feel it. We risk madness.
The more I hear, the more I think this is ill-advised.
Also, I like the padded roof.
With the dead. If this Delilah really
in my time, you're getting your time in my time? No! I can't believe you're double dipping my time.
Delilah's stronger than before.
How could you double dip in time?
I have heard her voice whispering to us. And now it's time. So take your positions.
Oh? Oh? Okay. I'm also, I don't remember for sure, but I'm pretty sure, also this fucking bird, dude. What are you? Rhino Gunalek. He's very handsome. He's a very regal burb. So you did, oh, wait, was I supposed to knock him out? Oh shit, so I need to go back? I will go back. I can go back. Let's see. That's the timer. Knock these guys out. Fuck. Triple fuck. We can't go back. It's here's where we walked into the map, and here's the next current quick save. Because there's only one quick save at a time, and the last quick save I did was standing at these guys before we figured out how to knock them out. Fuck. God damn it. I'd almost rather it like constantly do quick saves, just slam them, just all in here. Maybe he's still outside somewhere. I think he disappeared. I think he ran inside and like despawns or something. Unless he's hiding. Here, this is... We'll do it right here. We'll go to here. Okay. So these... Oh, there he is. This is like, where's the other guy? Okay. Okay, honestly, the best way for us to do this is to just do it this way. Okay. Then we will watch Megan replay the mission? Oh my god. I don't want to redo this whole mission. It's stressful. Because he never ran to... He's still here. Somewhere.
Someone sent for the guard!
This is to keep you from seeing whatever drove you into a nightmare tonight.
There we go. There we go. I was right. He was still here.
Unconscious. I changed the past. But how?
Okay. Okay. We did it. We're good still. I thought he like ran away and just like despawned or something. Because he never ran towards me. I figured he just kind of vanished. I'm kind of happy I was... Oh, shit! Motherfucker. I should not have just hit that. I should not have just hit that. Fuck me. Hold on. Hopefully it did a save after I knocked out Erasmus. Aramis. Aramis.
Get closer.
Yeah, because I accidentally hit the quick save. Autosave. Autosave. Right here? Okay.
Huh? I think I just saw some.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Shut up. There's that bird again.
I wonder how much time I have before Mr. Stilton returns home. I want to beat out the rugs, but the dust makes him cough.
Too many years in the silver mines. But go ahead, he won't be back until very late tonight. He's throwing a party for one of the miners.
Oh, it's still active.
They broke the mold when they
Oh, it's still active now. Oh, fuck. Okay. So it never happened 3 years ago. He avoided the nightmare, therefore he didn't go mad. So now we have to work our way through a revitalized... Hi, buddy. Oh, I'm sorry, I heard the music.
I can only carry one tray at a time. I'm only human.
Oh, shit.
Do they think there are two of me?
Okay. The nightmares didn't come to life. I think I'd rather go back outside and try to find a way. So let's see. Is outside gonna be different? Oh! I'm sorry, ma'am. It is different. I still can't use magic. I wonder who saw me. Oh, there he is. There's even a chain over there now that wasn't there before, I'm pretty sure. Okay, can I get up there? This is so cool. I didn't know this was an option. Holy shit. Holy shit, you guys. Okay. Back into the manor. And so it was 574 was the key. So maybe now the guards like aren't like nosing around trying to get into the room. At least in the present. Whoops. Oh, they're already unconscious. So that doesn't matter. So So...
Things seem to be the worst here. The two times are overlapping now somehow.
Okay, so I wouldn't be able to go in unless it was this specific time.
What we're about to attempt has never been done. It's beyond my understanding, and certainly beyond yours.
Okay, so he isn't here.
If anyone has
How do you manage to be a goober? It's all of my charisma stats.
now,
This
Is dampening our magic? So shall it be.
It's the frayed edge where natural philosophy crosses over into something else.
Also, hold on. I swear there's a button. I literally saw a video a couple days ago of like the animations of putting away a weapon and bringing it out. There has to be a fucking sheath button. I want to be able to sheath my weapon for like moments like this. There it is. F?
Yes, I can feel it. We risk madness.
All of you. Delilah is your right.
the one they call the Crown Killer. But she thinks of herself as Grim Alex. And now it's time. Something she made from whale bones. More powerful than a simple charm.
Okay.
Focus on the void behind the world. You can feel her power, can't you?
By the stars. This is more exciting than any orgy I've ever attended.
Why are you so weird?
From the cold. From forever.
From forever? I'm a little thoroughly surprised that something as simple, well, I would say simple, considering that they turned this entire room into hell.
My spirit is safe now, inside this thing. Luca, you must lock it away.
Okay. Okay. So...
Luca, I will never abandon you. Wait, you are hidden, but I know who you are. I know when you are.
No, you don't. Shut
You've
up.
come to watch me return, and someday I'll come for you.
I feel it would be funny as shit if she just said that. Just aloud.
The void beyond the world is strange. I won't ever understand what I've seen.
Are they... Oh, it's repeating. Okay.
More exciting than any orgy I've ever attended.
Okay. Now do I have to... Yeah, it looks like I just have to get out. Do I dare try to find... Oh, what's his name? Or should I just go? Hi, guys. Oh, okay, hold on. I want to check something. Because we theoretically, like, changed. Is this closet not open? No, it is. I wonder, is there... Oh, it's back in the seance room. Oh, no, it's not. Oh. Also, holy shit, this painting. To Aramis Stilton, good sir, we're writing to inquire about the finished work at your new office. Does everything meet with your expectations and approval? Are any adjustments needed? Have the work been sufficiently cleaned up after their construction activities? Keep yelling. What's happening? Faye! Faye! How was your stream? Hi, Dr. Borbin Saint. Welcome. And 2 minutes ago, I got so distracted. I am so sorry. No, I'm not ignoring you. I'm easily distracted, okay? We're in like a whole new part of the game I've never seen. Hi, Grim. Welcome in, guys. How was your stream? Did you have fun? How much of World of the Worlds did you read? How was your stream? Those of you from Vegas who don't know me, though, my name is Martin, the ringleader of the Dark Carnival. I typically play games that are dark, spooky, terrifying, or just whatever little RPGs my brain likes to latch onto. We're currently doing my third playthrough of Dishonored 2. We are currently doing a non-lethal ghost run. I read and Chad beat me up with support. Good. I saw 112%. So that's good. That's good. But also that means I now need to go close the tab. I must now go close the tab and change some things and move some things around. Okay. But Faye, if you need to go relax, take a nap, get some food, do all that jazz, I totally understand, especially since it's your first stream in 8 months? I'm just guessing. That was a random guess. Leedle. Going for the stretch goal and I'm scared. Wait, I forgot. What was your stretch goal? I forgot what one of the stretch goals was. I have running the VTM one shot as one of my stretch goals. And honestly, that's kind of one that I'm a little excited for. I think it'll be fun. Also, Larrinkin, O'Lear, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. I saw it when it popped up. I was just waiting until I finished my spiel. My whole spiel. Hold on. So everything proved unsatisfactory. We will follow shortly with invoices. Respectfully yours. Okay, this is the same company that was doing like all the renovations. Silvermine owner Advocate for Workers has called for a meeting with Duke Luca Abel to negotiate the creation of a new fund to benefit the victims of mining accidents. Currently, no such fund exists, and injured miners are simply let go from their positions, expecting to find other work despite missing limbs, blindness, and other serious impediments. The meeting will be the third such for the two, with so far not much agreed upon. However, Stilton says he remains hopeful that the health fund will be established and well-funded before the end of the year. Okay, that's still the fund. Is that... I think that's Stilton. I don't know for sure, though. Hold on. Okay, no, this is the office they were building that they never built before. Ooh. Okay. A quick save really quick. I'm very curious though. I want to know if we can go talk to Stilton. I need to know. Okay. Sorry, ma'am. Nap time. Oh man. You ain't got no money. That's fine. That's fine. So... this is very interesting. I'm sorry. I'm just enraptured on this whole, like... there was a third map setup for this whole map that I'd never seen before. Can I open... okay, no, I can't open these windows still in this time period. So... there's Shadow. This is the museum. Okay, yeah, we got everything. We still can't use magic. These guys are unconscious, so we could just kind of, you know. I remember absolutely knocking the pants off those guys. Oh. That better not have counted. That better not have counted. Whew. Okay. Interesting, there are dog kennels. But no dogs here anymore. Res Tingle, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Enjoy the show. Hope you're well today. Hi, Talion. How are you doing? All right. Yoink. And see, now it's all colorful. It's not like run down.
Trouble sleeping again last night. Maybe I ought to try one of those sleeping tinctures.
Sleeping tinctures. Remember when some medicines were called tinctures? I think we need to bring that back. Faye, are you taking your tinctures again? Oh, well, there's also no puzzle. It doesn't work with a cutscene? Uh-oh. Bad touch! Bad touch! Ah, look at that handsome devil. That was a good scene. I forgot about the scene. That was so good.
A crumbling island at the very edges of the void.
What the fuck?
But this one is special.
Oh?
It's the place where my throat was cut 4,000 years ago. This is where my life ended. And where it began again.
Are medicines dissolved in alcohol?
It's where they made me.
Uh-huh.
This part of the void feels older.
This is part of the original one, right? This isn't something I unlocked from... No.
Right up until the end, I thought I'd find a way to escape. I fought, but the ropes only cut my skin.
That
so
sword.
And then the knife touched my throat, and I knew I'd waited too long. The blood ran out, and I became a god.
Did you? Can you really interact with the material world,
At the end
though?
of her days, she drifted to the void and should have been lost forever. But her will...
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's the knife from the end of the Death of the Outsider.
She found this place.
Bad touch! Bad touch!
The island of the void where I became what I am.
Me getting dragged away by a demon in a classic haunting scenario. Bad touch!
Tapping into the power here. Delilah is a part of me now, and I don't like it.
Okay. Okay. Oh, hello.
I have to give Delilah credit. She tore out a piece of herself and hid it away, inside a thing made of bones. She's made herself immortal. If you want to kill Delilah, you're going to have to find her spirit and give it back to her. Reaching it won't be easy.
Okay.
But what comes after that might be the hardest.
But I don't want to kill her. I don't remember the non-lethal Delilah fight, though. I honestly do not remember how it works. Also, wait a second. Does that mean, random question, if time was overlapping at the seance here, and we were here for it, and we could see it, technically, and all of time was overlapping, doesn't that mean we were here? It would have been kind of neat if we could have, like, seen ourselves, like, on the upper balcony or something, watching. That'd be really cool. Hey, his heart. That, I think, is the... I think that's the picture, a painting of crazy Erasmus. Aramis.
The world contains more mysteries
Dowd canonically
than I
killed her at the end of Dishonored 1 DLC. Well, no, he sent her into the void forever. Which is what they're saying is... Apparently that did not last long. That did not last long at fucking all. Okay.
Now to meet up with Sokolov again at the skiff. After a very strange day.
They slowed down flow 4, did not say.
Apparently the family committee made a request. Too much dust was pissing down.
These weren't painted before, were they?
More than I can say for the Grand Guard.
Yeah, the Duke is right.
Right? This was covered in sand before, wasn't it?
Stilton is a good man.
I'll tell him you said that. He drinks at my brother's pub.
He knows we appreciate him. Karnaca has problems, but it could be a lot worse here in this district.
If we get approval for a new ventilation shaft, we'll mark a real victory. More air means less dusty lung. Family Miners Committee is here for everyone.
Oh. Wait, this is great. Albinos. Okay, that's probably the like one that's like you get mana if you eat the white rats. Oh, they include more white rats. Okay. So there's no guards. This feels fucking insane, you guys. Why did nobody tell me that this was an option?
Stilton agreed to a meeting with the woman heading up the family committee. What's her name?
Okay, hold on.
Lucia Pastor. She's supposed to talk to Stilton soon about new safety rules for the mines.
And this is the roof that we came in on before. Relocation sickness. Didn't we already get that one? What's the one that's... Yeah, whenever they teleport, they get dizzy.
His body's still under the mountain, buried in silver.
Okay, there's one more.
Lucia Pastor just has a good heart.
Oh, I especially went that one.
Listens to what she has to say.
Here, drop to this.
Every idiotic
Blink.
request coming from the Grand Palace. I won't complain.
Stilton's not a bad man. I bet things would be a lot worse without him running. Sure.
Why are you beating him up? Wow. Forever 1 year you never asked? Wait, isn't this... I thought it was a 3-year difference. It seems like these businesses are... okay, I think that's just back here.
Maybe no one else will even notice. But things have changed here. For the better.
Does that mean we're the only person who now knows how it was? Fading light. For reach and blink consume... Oh, within a second of an assassination. Damn it. Okay. We're not using assassination, so it doesn't really matter.
Keep taking, consuming until someone puts an end to it.
Oh my god, she does have her hand. She does have her hand.
That was quick.
And her eye.
Sorry I couldn't take you to see Stilton myself. But I guess you found the place.
Wow. Unfortunately, that also means, though, that from this point forward, it's an alternate ending that isn't canon. Because she doesn't have her arm and eye in Death of the Outsider.
Are you ready to leave?
So this is just like an overly hopeful version. I mean, there wasn't any gangs, and the Abbey wasn't there. So there wasn't like a gang fight or anything anymore. Good night, Ordained. Sleep well. All right. Hell yeah. Bodies detected. Nah, it's fine. All the bone charms. Oh, we missed a ruin. Son of a bitch. Didn't find any of the paintings. Didn't find any of the blueprints. Raggle fraggle. Raggle fraggle. I always miss the blueprints. I'm not looking for blueprints most of the time.
Duke Luca Abel tore down the original palace in Karnaca.
And then he built the island, I'm guessing.
Build a lavish structure that cost enough to feed everyone in Serkonos for years.
It weirdly looks like a postmodern mansion, and I hate it because of it.
A monument to his ego and sense of princely entitlement. But whatever the Duke has done to his nation happened while I was Empress.
I could have swore she didn't.
We were content to
I could have swore that's why she had the gem eye and the the void hand at the beginning. I could have swore it was. Raggle fraggle! Ah, Grim, help! I'm sorry. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so there she is. What?
Dissolve into the great nothing.
You should be at peace.
I've stayed too long. Find Delilah's spirit. Trap her with this cage of dead flesh. Set me free.
I don't understand.
You will very soon.
Oh, was that our non-lethal option? Are we gonna trap her inside of the heart? Okay. Question mark. Really quick. Let me re-equip something. Oh, I forgot the sticky grenades were in this game. Ooh. Okay, yeah, fuck it. I'm pretty sure that's what I had there before. Hello?
I can't believe it's taken this long for someone to go after the Duke. Another aristocratic boss, living in a palace and sucking the marrow out of the same people who built it.
Yes, I regret my affiliation
there he is.
with the young Duke, but his father and I were close.
Look at this man. Look how clean cut he is.
Would eventually grow up and learn that his actions as ruler of Serkonos have very real consequences.
Except he didn't.
He could always count on the backing of Dunwall's finances and navy.
Hmm.
Maybe without that, he would have developed a healthy respect for the people of Serkonos. Fear of the executioner's block has been a fine
I don't know,
motivator for
buddy.
many a ruler.
Once the
I mean, it could be, but this man thought himself above his own people, so you know what you're supposed to do at that point, right?
Representative and inclusive.
Chat, what do you do when the government and/or the leading official believes that he is above the people that elected him and/or gave him power? That's right, Hollowed. Oh. Ooh. We get the map early. Stairs. I wonder why that's important and why it's circled. All right. Crime brulee, correct. Spicy crime, also correct.
Are you ready for this?
I've been inside a dozen castles and 100 mansions.
Oh, there it
The
is.
same
Past.
everywhere. The Duke's
Past the
palace can't be
fucking
anything worse than Lady
institute.
Brisby's social afternoons.
Getting inside might not be the hard part. The Duke doesn't exactly run a tight ship.
Taking down Duke Abel is only part of the puzzle.
Did we ever
You've
apologize to
also
him
got
for
to
knocking
find
his ass
whatever it
out?
is he's keeping for Delilah.
Also, did y'all notice his tie is a
About
rock?
What you gleaned from visiting the Dust District, which is fine. The world is better with a hint of mystery.
We have no idea why you went to the
Inside
Dust
Grand
District.
Palace, whatever you
Because in this timeline, apparently,
things in Karnaca for years to
Stilton
come.
has always been helping us. That's crazy.
I've got a map of the Grand Palace for you, and I know something that may be useful.
That's
There's a
crazy.
hidden
Rock
lever
ties
in
the new
the
fashion
pantry
trend.
that opens a
Listen, he's
passage to
fucking
the Duke's
nailing it,
vault.
dude.
If he's keeping
That's a
anything
cool fashion
precious for
statement.
Delilah,
Faye,
I
where are you
suspect
at?
That's where it'll be.
Faye, write this
Beyond
down.
that, good hunting.
Write this down.
I'll see what I can do.
It's more like a brooch now that I
know
look at
things
it.
in Karnaca are fragile, and I've got a lot to think about.
Y'all
after
see
all
what I'm
this is
talking about,
done.
right? Right in the center of his chest, right underneath his neck. Oh, whoops.
It's not widely known, but the
Come here.
Duke has a
Come here.
body double. The man is the
Look at that.
spitting image of
That rock on the center of his chest. That is so cool. That is so cool. What, write it down? This man, he used to be a miner, and now he's like the head of the mining company. And he wears...
likable fellow.
Darn, I can't get him to stand up. He wears a... Hold on. Yeah. Oh, you still can't see it. He has like a rock instead of a tie. It's like it looks kind of like a rock on like a silver plaque. It's very cool. It's very cool. All right. Chat, I have bad news. That mission took way too long. We took a long time on that mission and it's already almost 4. And this next mission I know for sure is going to take a long time too. So we're going to be back next week with it. I don't like doing this like basically one mission a week because that's making it take a really long time. But I'm supposed to be back with it again next week. So let me go ahead and get the music and we can figure out who the hell to raid, baby. Put some of this away. Izzy's currently playing Expedition 33. It looks like she's just starting. Ash is playing Dead by Daylight with Kitty. Zozo's doing minis. We rated Kira last week, I believe, though Thursday. Chat, I just remembered something we never talked about today. That I went to go see Sinners on Thursday. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. We're going to talk about Sinners tomorrow. Don't let me forget. Don't let me forget, because that shit is awesome. Hi, Cult. I'm sorry you just got here as we're wrapping up. It's okay, though. We'll be back here tomorrow at noon. Noon CDT. We're going to be yapping away tomorrow, so there's going to be plenty of yap time that Sunstar was trying to incentivize me to do today. But do we want to go with Izzy playing Expedition 33 or Ash doing Dead by Daylight or Zozo doing minis? Dare we go with minis? We'll go with minis. Horror show. We'll go with minis today. I hate time zone differences. It's okay. We usually go till about 4. It's just right now we're like right at the beginning of a mission. So I'm going to save it to do that whole mission at once instead of like cutting it up into a bunch of tiny pieces of the mission. It'd just be better than doing like half the mission and then having to pause when it gets too late here. It's a fun game. This is my 3rd time playing it, but we need a raid message. I think we're just going to do the crime brulee one. Time for crime. All right, guys. We'll be back tomorrow, like I said, noon CDT. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being awesome. Thank you for enjoying the show. And thank you for putting up with how many days of Dishonored we're going to end up having at the rate we're going at like 1 mission a day. But I will see you guys tomorrow. Good night.